Hi everyone. My mic was muted again. I'm good at this. Oh, God. Well, welcome to episode 7. I really should write these episode names down before going live. I think we're on episode 7.
Pretty sure you're right. We need a producer. Mrs. C, what episode are we on?
Welcome to an episode. We believe it's 7, which could be 8. I'm pretty sure it's 7. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. We got some awesome guests for you guys today. So we've got NixieTheDragon, Paladin Goo, and TheCorkBottle. Say hello, people.
Hi.
Hello.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll get down to those in a moment. But, first off, I would say thank you guys for those hosts. Appreciate it, and hopefully we should have a bit more going on this week. This has been quite a busy week on the server.
It was a yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything between last episode and this one has been a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah. One way of putting it.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
So, hopefully they'll, we'll fill everybody in on the details of what's gone on, and then we'll find out about your guys' characters.
So, how to phrase this nicely? So, the first thing I'm going to say is yes, there was some drama involved with how a lot of the story played out and with what happened. And the only thing I really want to say about it in that capacity is mistakes happen. Everyone's human. Give people the benefit of the doubt. And if you are at all upset by what happened, breathe, take a moment. If you're upset at a person, forgive them, and move on. And that's all I'm going to say about it, really.
I was terraforming when it all went down. So,
So, talking about the bigger scope here, what everyone's working towards was the ultimate destruction of everyone that lived within the Seven Hells and the Shield Maidens. Why? Well, because they're
Why
dicks. And there will be, and there have been, disagreeing viewpoints about that before and since the events. Some people didn't have that same opinion, and that's fine. But it kind of came to a head where Grim, Sigurd, and some of the Shield Maidens, Helen and Sylvia, they had returned. Ira had returned, which is Sigurd's wife, and they'd gone back to terrorizing people. And it came to a head on last Sunday, on what was supposed to be Zacchaeus' and Sophie's wedding day. Grim found out he didn't have an invitation to that wedding, and so he killed a bunch of people that were supposed to be in the wedding party. And that was the tipping point for finally all the keeps to come together, whether they were scared, whether they were still allies but unsure if they wanted to still be there. That was enough. They turned the whole world against them, fully and truly. And the leaders of various factions, South Reach, Crescent Reach, Crucible, Slevzig, they all got involved, came together, and decided they'd had enough, marched on the Seven Hells, and there was war. There was breaching of the walls, going over the gates, killing people outside, killing people inside, and finally, even though a few escaped, well, there was a little bit of that, but they were outnumbered and they had to make content, so there's that. And Jam did say that he had discussed whether or not he wanted to turn on Judgment Hour so that we could get him in the house, but he wasn't sure if people not involved with that outside of the server would be cool with that kind of thing, so he erred on the side of caution and didn't do it. And he said in the future, if he knew it was coming, he would probably do something like that and coordinate it, saying only attack these places because they're part of the conflict, kind of thing. But so it finally ended with, though, Sylvia did escape. She's the only person who escaped. Oh, excuse me, besides Crackpot. Of the main storyline, all those bad guys finally wiped out. and there was much rejoicing. So, leading up to that, Windrush had been accused of murder that he didn't commit of the leader of Slevzig, because he was covering for Crackpot. Turned himself in, actually escaped before execution through a daring rush over the walls onto a horse and away, returned to the Seven Hells and tried to talk them all down, or then at that point when that didn't work, tried to have it out with Grim, and that didn't work, so he has eventually left. Crackpot escaped, Sylvia escaped, everyone was wiped out, and the one, I would say, major plot character, which not hit to anyone else, just of that wide sweeping story for the Seven Hells, was Windrush. He lived. He went on to, he was working with Lillian. They were going to head home. He was going to finally leave behind his tree wife, who he didn't think he could save anymore, and then he was cut down ingloriously by a highway bandit, which is really how Life is Futile works. But for anyone who may frequent the Civil Chef since then, you may have noticed that an apple tree has started to grow from where Windrush's body has fallen. So perhaps he still exists in some fashion. Pycroft laughing about the tree wife.
That's deep.
So that's where these characters are at the moment, which is all pretty much dead. And what's going on the server now is all the different settlements are trying to determine what to do in the aftermath. And some people are searching for Sylvia, for Crackpot, who may or may not be dead. Go watch some past broadcasts, figure out the story of Casey Crackpot. Some people are actually seeking vengeance for the murderers of the Shield Maidens, which is surprising, but you start to learn there that some of those characters had different sides that they didn't show people when they weren't murdering everyone with the Seven Hells. And now it's kind of a time of healing. There are a lot of new people in the game because the whitelist has gone through. 100+ people have been brought in, and you can see their settlements popping up here and there, and they're not involved in that major conflict. But they're starting to learn about what has happened and where they go, where they branch out from there, and whether or not these towns can actually heal from all the loss that they've experienced before the war and now after, is yet to be seen. And that's where we've been this week.
Wow.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, it was a pretty busy week.
Yeah, it has been. There's been lots of talking on Twitter and stuff, which is good. It's generally how I keep ahead of what's going on till these episodes.
I love drama.
Everybody loves drama. Of the right
Too much drama. The salty kind.
Yeah, I think it's going to make things interesting the next couple of weeks with fresh blood and no major known antagonist.
For now, I know that they're growing. They're going. There are stories that are not yet established yet on stream or off, where there's a power vacuum there of truly evil that can be filled by someone. It's bound to happen, happens in every role-playing game, happens in the world. There's a spot there for a bad guy or a group of people to rise up and oppose the people who, put down the Seven Hells, or now these new people. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not everyone can still keep the peace, or is it going to devolve into chaos at the first sign of a stolen horse or a misplaced apple or whatever it is that sets off most of these people the first time.
Or they just look like someone they think killed them.
That happens, as you know from experience.
Seems legit.
Because there's an endless amount of possibilities to what your character will do.
Yeah, there's 7 men total. That's it.
Fuck.
Yeah. I see Booney's hinting at the fact that maybe he's going to be evil. Oh, no, he's picking on Nikki going to be evil.
Yeah, he's picking on Nikki.
Okay.
Because Nikki thinks she's capable of being evil.
Hang out with her in TeamSpeak for 12 hours a day and building process of a major town. She's evil.
She's not evil. She's just maybe misguided.
But shockingly, the people here we have tonight were hardly involved in the conflict, which was rare, given the amount. There was like 40 people there to kill 5, so, and none of them were these 3.
That was terrifying. So
I think I was collecting herbs at the time,
Yeah, you
actually.
were.
Fair, I tried to be involved, but I crashed and couldn't reconnect because there were so many people. But I had a reason to, because Grim tried to get my in-character wife to join the whorehouse.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of recruitment that went on in order to get people to fight against them. My character was huge into recruiting people to fight, and in turn there was a lot of others who took up that cause and really pulled it. So every town I know was visited, and I don't know who came to your guys' town, but we tried to hit everyone on the server to try to get them involved in the fight, and a lot of people said, they're not done other than me, which is like, okay, whatever, but that's bound to happen to a lot of people.
Well, I never actually met. The only person I ever met from Seven Hells was Patty, and when he stole my fucking flux.
Should have lied. I lied.
I did.
It's okay, he
I had
didn't
10
last long.
flux, and I gave him 3, so.
Well done. Nice job.
Small victories. Brilliant.
I think when Patty came to us, we had like 80-something flux, and we gave him 1.
One I made at the time he was there. It wasn't even the one we had already. I made it in front of him.
I had 25 in my inventory. I was like, nah, we don't have any. I mean, look at this place. We don't have any to spare. We've used it all. And it says, so what do you got? And I'm like, here's a quality 10 rope. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I could have done that, but I was like, I'll be a sucker.
I still got ahead.
Somebody has to fall for it. Excellent. Well, let's find out about a little more of your characters and some of your experiences. And let's start with Nixie, as you're at the top of the screen.
Yeah, lovely.
Why don't you first off tell us about Rosemary?
Well, so far I've not done a lot with Rosemary, actually. We've been doing a lot of building over at the village of Arena, which started off as Arena Inn and Tavern, but over time has kind of morphed into an actual village. She's a cook, a farmer, an herbalist type person. I've done a lot of trading with the other groups as well. I go around all the time and I'm like, hey, do you have any more herbs for me? But it's mostly just, it's been like a huge process. We've been trying to get Arena up and started. It's been mostly me and Paladin Goo for the most part there, with Cork coming in occasionally.
I was about to say, like,
yeah, well, we basically claimed the mountain. We've taken the southeastern mountain that is like a bigger hill sort of thing, and we just claimed the entire thing. We put a giant wall around it. It's ours. Which has taken way too much time. But we've got a character thing going on. We had a big issue where a man was killed in our tavern at one point, which sparked a lot of problems, as well as an issue with a gold mine, which I don't know if you guys were part of the gold mine issue. But Gannicus lived on top of a gold mine Gannicus, which was Cork, lived right on top of a gold mine, and Crescent Reach really wanted the gold out of there, so they claimed the area, and it all went crazy. But it eventually ended up in Gannicus dying, and now we have a whole ton of gold. out of a treaty that we had to do with South Reach and Crescent Reach, and it was kind of awesome. But Rosemary so far has been rather tame. Like last season I was Nixie and had a lot of fun times with Nixie over there. But Rosemary this time is a little bit more tame. I don't want to get killed because we put a lot of work to Arena. Really don't want to die, so I've been really nice to everyone. Like,
That's why you make disposable characters aside from that.
I have a couple characters on the side. I have
a couple people on the side too. What?
Evanor, who's this old lady who sees spirits and does a lot of herbalism. So I haven't really started her up very much, but she's kind of reminiscent of Selena last season, who was this witch character everyone hated for some reason. I did nothing. It was the voice.
It's the year 1027, and you were a witch.
I was not a witch. I actually
Doesn't matter.
not think witch-wise.
Someone said you were.
Someone called me out as a witch, and I was
Cavalier
like, oh,
started
well,
that
okay.
rumor.
Well, yeah, after Manish called me up to his keep, like, hey, make me a poison. I was like, okay. Yeah, it was... So she's kind of reminiscent of her, but a little bit tamer, because Selena was known for her evil giggle. I don't know, did you guys ever meet Selena?
I never got a chance.
Oh,
I've heard
she was a
about
fun
you, but never got.
She was a fun character. I ended up meeting King Asher, and the first thing he said is, "No offense, but are you a witch?"
Yeah, I'd gotten him
like,
from Manish, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. But so Evanor is a little bit more like her, but Rosemary's my main. I've been doing a lot more as Rosemary, which you are the witch. Just reading chat. I mean, no, I didn't try to be a witch. I wasn't a witch. I just had a fun voice and an evil giggle. Well, I only did that because I was asked to.
Still knew how.
Yeah, well, I tried. But yeah,
they
it
didn't
was.
try to see if you floated.
Actually, they did.
Very small rocks.
They did.
The first time I met Asher, he's like, "I want you to go out into the water and see if you float." I was like, I guess I'm floating. He's like, "Well, isn't it witches sink?" I was like, "Oh, we're doing this." But no, it was, and then he tried to hook me up with Crom, which just, didn't work out. It was me and Aveen, who were sitting there pretending to do a ritual, which we both died doing. Our characters actually drowned, and we had to run all the way back in slow motion to try and get our stuff back.
Yep, been there.
It was fun though. She's a fun character, but Evanor is something like her. She just doesn't have the evil giggle, which got me into so much trouble. Mostly her bosom. Yeah, learn. I learned. Don't do evil giggles. You're labeled as a witch. But yeah, I'm still trying to develop Rosemary though. It's mostly just been building Arena. It's been a lot of that.
Terraforming a mountain is hell.
That's what I hear.
When you only have 2 people to do it, it's even more fun.
2.5.
I mean, one person in terraforming a mountain.
Yeah, it's true. He helped with the wall that we were having issues with.
So many great flat spaces all over the map, still blank.
Have
empty.
you seen our view though?
Yeah, we do have the best view in the whole server.
Except, Buckle, you're from Crucible, aren't you?
Yes.
Why does the Pope need a blood sport arena?
Interesting question.
I like this guy.
It's 10:27. We can talk about the tournament grounds a little bit later after you guys are done.
Well,
but
you
there's
have
a
direct
reason for that,
competition. So,
for another arena?
with mine.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he's building one.
But
Excellent.
we can have, split tournaments.
Yep. There's a purpose So the post place is the Tribunal Tournament Grounds. It has a specific purpose to it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
Sounds like yours is
Will
more
there be fights
for
to the death?
Just killing.
Yielding is allowed in the Tribunal Tournament Grounds. Sounds
Oh,
like
you can
not so
yield
much.
in this, whether or not you get to stay alive.
Gotcha.
Throw them to the bears.
I wish animals didn't go through walls because I really wanted to make a pit and throw a bear in there, like lead a bear in there, and block it in, and have throw people in as an execution.
Yeah, if you could dig down, really, it would be great to recreate that thing from Reign of Kings, where there was the
Yes,
bear pit.
there was a bear pit in the castle. It was amazing.
Yeah,
You just
we
trap
tried.
a bear somewhere.
Tried.
That's where I first started RPing, actually, in voice chat. Was Reign of
What
Kings.
about a wolf that spawned inside the arena yesterday?
Yep, that'll happen sometimes. A bear will spawn every third or fourth restart spawns in the tournament grounds. A bear spawns right next to it.
Oh god.
Then Nikki goes and plays with it.
Enough about that. Okay, so what made you decide to want to terraform a mountain? Did you not learn from the Jargarians in season 1?
It was all her idea.
We were looking for a nice spot, and we were actually originally going to build down in the valley where we have a neighbor. Until we went up to the top of the hill and looked out and went, oh my gosh, this is it. Because it was just such a pretty, you could see the whole mountain, you can see all the way to the lake, you could see over to where...
You can see the nipple from there.
You can literally see from all the way to the north side of the island. So we kind of just went, this is going to be a pain, but we're going to do it because it's going to look so cool in the end. And I didn't do any building at all season 1. I just mooched off of everyone else's houses. So I felt I could dig in and make myself a home, but it's been harder.
The view from that new house is pretty awesome.
Oh, we built a new house last night. We built the
800
big
building
3-story
logs.
wooden house, 800
Yeah,
building
it
logs.
helped that 180 of the logs glitched out and we couldn't get them back.
So we actually sought out 900
reasons.
logs last night.
1,000 logs almost.
Yeah, it's about 1,000 actually. Yeah, it was. We've been building a lot, and once we get that up and running, I think our village is gonna be really cool. It's just it's hard when you've got me, Paladin, and sometimes Cork.
Well, for the influx of new people, you'll be able to recruit a couple new folks.
Yes,
Which is tough,
hopefully. Which
but-
we've had.
I do enjoy
people.
giving orders.
We've had people in the past. We had one person come in and then just never show back up.
Well, I have to work to be here. I'm out.
Well, he was really cool. He did a bunch of work for us. He's just some random.
He probably
who came
brought
up
like
and,
200 logs up the mountain and stacked them.
Yeah, that's all he did really. He just
He's
went
like,
down, chopped
Nah, I'm
down
not playing this
trees,
game no more.
brought it up, and then left. The last we heard, he was taking care of his little goddess. He had the log. You can tell he had a little girl in the background or something. But,
I see. Father, not a
yeah.
creepy guy. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I would hope.
No. But, yeah, we had people show up and then just disappear again. We've had Vicon live with us, Pax live with us, Ken Rufus live with us, Cork lives with us. We have Aveen. I think she had a character with us. It's just, we've had a bunch of different people, but not many who stuck around. But it's getting there. We're like so close to being done.
No one wants to help terraform a mountain.
Such thing is done. You guys will finish, then you'll be like, well, we gotta tear this house down to get a new, a higher quality one in place of it. It's never done.
Nixie's the one person on the server that actually enjoys searching for herbs. I'm the one person on the server that actually enjoys terraforming. But
I do enjoy searching for herbs. I really do. I go up there and I get hidden flux all the time. I sit and watch TV shows and just gather herbs. I've gotten hundreds of herbs in a couple hours and gotten
I like trees.
trading.
I think I blew Paladin's mind when I come up and showed him how to really terraform.
Well, when you showed up and showed us how to
Yeah.
do the wall, we were sitting there like trying to make a sloped area for the wall and up
I'm
into
gonna
a
fix it in 10
side of a
minutes.
hill. He comes in, he's like, "Oh no, just do it like this," and it's done. We're like, "Oh, okay." But
Some people
I
have
learned
the
a
knack
lot
for
as
it.
Gannicus.
yeah, Gannicus.
Thinks he's so smart.
You know it.
Terraforming's good business.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah. Especially when
Pope's
you live on
into it,
top of
too.
a mountain.
Dude who plays the Pope just terraforms like crazy. He carries around like 1,500 shovels in his back. Just off he goes.
Make no mistake, I will never build on a mountain again.
Never, ever.
That's why I'm
mooching
enjoying, like-
for the rest of my life.
Like, we spent 2 hours trying to add 2 blocks of land on their mountain just to add the new house, and then I went back to my place and cleared a 12 by 12 area in 10 minutes because it's flat. It's just like,
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a pain, but at the same time, you have a bunch of RP that's been thrown in as well. We killed a guy in our tavern. Well, our friends came over and had a lovely drink with us one day, and then a guy who wasn't friendly with them. Well, he was claiming to be one of their fathers, like Nessa's father, but she's like, "No, my dad's Belphegor." If you've ever met Belphegor and Astrid, you're missing out because they're hilarious. But they come over and he starts telling, "Oh, you're my daughter," type thing. They ended up cornering me in one corner, knocking Lucifer out, and killing him in the opposite corner with Wrath standing right there trying to protect him. So it caused a little bit of an issue with Southbreach because this guy was a member of their group. And they come over and they're trying to figure out what's going on, and eventually I guess the guy we killed came back.
I almost don't want to get into that.
It's been a
Because
little
he
bit
came
of a...
back and he came back and started RPing that no, he wasn't really dead. He was in a coma.
But it was a little bit of a weird situation. We still don't know how to RP that, but we did end up killing a guy, and it started a big drama between Crescent Reach, South Reach, and us, which that was during the downtime, and there was like 7 people.
how hard to start
at
drama
any
with some
time.
of those people.
Yeah.
Like,
But
telling them to fix your road is enough to get you killed.
poor Gannicus. He comes up to me one day and it's just like, "Hey, your friends are putting dirt all over the road I'm building. Fix it." It's like, okay.
I just told you about it.
I
Then
go
you come
over there,
down.
end up having to stop them from fist fighting. It gets interesting. People stop by all the time at Arena. But we're still building.
Excellent. Sounds could be a interesting place to watch out for the future then.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have plans. We're gonna take over the world. If we can handle a mountain,
King
we can
Lucifer and
handle a
Lord
realm.
Ash. Lord of the North.
Let's just start that again. North, south, sides.
Oh no. Yeah, let's not go into freaking King of the North, King of the South battles. That was always fun though.
There's never anything wrong with them besides the people taking it out of game. That kind of stuff is always pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, if you can do it right, if you can RP it right, it's really fun. But
Well, when you see a Twitter war over something that happened in game, there's an issue.
So a little bit of what I want to talk about today is about things like that, drama and stuff that pops up at RP and how we can avoid it and solve it. So
Some people just get way too invested and then they get way too salty when things don't go the way they want it. And then they just have to realize it's just a fucking game. So it's
I'll admit I got salty last season.
oh, there's salt, but then there's salt in carrying it on.
sure, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll
Like,
get
I
to
was
it
pissed
anyway.
when... I've been pissed when my character's been killed, but I get over it pretty quickly. I'm not going to keep going on about it.
Okay.
Except for certain people.
yeah, Arena is definitely a place that we hope to get on the map eventually. Once it gets more finished than it is.
That's the same with Ashfield. I want that to be a bustling area of RP. The good RP.
Awesome.
There's no such thing as bad RP.
No, I'm meaning
That's not
like
what the rules say.
positive
No,
RP, not like
wars.
like killing and drama. I want it to be like a there's no
Secret.
killing there, but like a fun place for people to go.
I get you. Well, hopefully, with a little bit of promotion from this, both of you guys will have some new people showing up. That's it. If you're looking
That
for,
would be awesome.
if you're a new character or looking to roll an alt for a little bit of fun, these places are good places to go for it. And they haven't been ravaged by war.
Yeah.
Very few places can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, so Paladin, I have to ask, why Lucifer?
Like, why the name?
Yeah.
I think at first it started where we were going to get into it with a group of people and do the 7 Deadly Sins plot, but that never worked out. They bailed on us like jerks, and they know who they are. They're probably watching. But I stuck with Lucifer because, like, the reactions you get with the name Lucifer. I don't know. I probably met you in game, Buckle, because you're from Crucible, and I remember meeting. I think I met Rhea once, and she just like stepped backwards, like, "Whoa."
You've actually met a lot of my characters, and we do the same thing every time. Lucifer!
I like the reaction, but it's like Lucifer's like the coolest guy in the world. He's the voice of reason, you know. He's not actually Satan, so it's great.
Oh, good. Thanks for clarifying.
Excellent. I don't know about anybody else, but as soon as I hear the the name Lucifer, all I can think about is Little Nicky. And she can't go backwards.
Oh, when I think of Little Nicky, all I think is Popeye's chicken. You know?
All I think of is a pineapple.
Oh God.
Yes. I have to watch that film again this week.
I didn't want to go there. Want nothing to do with that pineapple.
Awesome. Well, tell us a bit more about Lucifer.
Oh man, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with Lucifer when I started, because like I joined season 1 at the tail end of it, and I didn't really know what I was doing then either. I cut down trees, and that's about all I did in season 1. And then in season 2, started Lucifer. And me and Nixie were going to do a husband and wife role play, and I kept the name Lucifer for all the reasons I said, but like. I don't know, I guess Lucifer is kind of boring because he doesn't fight anybody. But he has...
Boring.
Well, boring in the way, like, you know, if you stream this, no one's going to watch you.
I don't know.
Because you're not killing anybody.
Best RP moment I ever had was when Gannicus and Lucifer said their goodbyes.
Yeah, that was
And I wasn't
pretty
even
cool.
streaming it. But it was awesome.
Yeah, and I've had some pretty kick-ass roleplay with, like, Isolu, too. I tried to talk him out of killing you, and he wasn't going to kill you, and then you came and challenged him, and he had to kill you. Voice of reason.
Bullied me
bites
out of
in the
my home.
ass.
What was going to happen?
Just for a moment, I want to touch on killing is part of the game. It is enjoyable to watch if it's for the right reasons, especially if the opponents are skilled. But the majority of the streams, that I watch about Twitch Dynasty are 90% not fighting, and that's because people are putting on a hell of a show. And sure, it may result in fighting somewhere down the road, but don't let the lack of fighting be what holds you back from showing off your story. Not at all. Some of the best stories are the discussions, the conversations, the heated fights, the heated making up. You know, it's
politics.
Yes, some of my favorite fun so far has been with some of the characters streaming, and I know that because they're streaming, they're being very diplomatic, and it's been intense, and it's been great to be part of, and I know that chat's eat it up. And just look at JZ. Never lifted a sword in his life until he was forced to and was crap at it. and he puts on a hell of a show. So,
He's got
just
the
my 2 cents.
weave.
He does have the duck and weave. Slippery bastards often do. But yeah, don't let the lack of fighting hold you back. And then if you do want to get a little fighting, now there's 2 tournament pits to go do that in for a little bit.
Oh yeah,
where you
I hear
where you
you.
probably won't die. All right, sorry, that was
Well,
my
there was a point where like I figured, okay, Lucifer's, I'm tired of terraforming. I'm gonna make another character just so I can go mess around. So I made a character named Morris Bloodstone.
Met him.
Oh God, Morris Bloodstone.
Rhea liked Morris, but Morris is not. He's not a. As soon as I joined the server, though, like I was suspected of attacking Jocelyn by Legend, and I hadn't done it. I didn't know what the hell or who the hell Jocelyn was in character. Had never been away from the South, but I was suspected of that. And as Morris, I was taken by Wrath. I was captured by Wrath and taken to Legend, put on my knees for execution, and then they took pity on me. But before I got to Legend, he took me to Crucible, and I prayed. And Rhea seemed to take a shining to Morris. I made her cry, she says.
Yep.
But, Morris is I don't know, kind of like half pirate, and he's kind of I want to say he's kind of a pervert. All he does is talk about boobs. He took over Gannicus's old place after he got killed and called it Twin Peaks, and that was a boob joke.
Clearly, yep.
And he got into it with over the gold mine again with Isolu or Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus's miner person attacked him with a shovel, so Morris went and got a sword and hit him a couple times with the sword, and now Zacchaeus more or less wants him dead. And it's probably going to happen at some point.
Better learn how to fight.
Pretty much. Well, I can
There you go.
fight, it's just Morris can't fight. So
Training
Morris
montage.
has to learn. Yeah. Yeah, so I made him just to, maybe be a bad guy for once. I've never been a bad guy character. But then it turns out, man, even when I'm trying to be a bad guy, I can't be a bad guy. Crucible likes me. Just didn't work. So, I haven't been on as Morris in a while. I've been pretty much Lucifer the whole time since then, and oh god, the building. We used to get lots of RP, and then last week when all that that situation went down, everything just kind of flatlined. So we're taking this opportunity. Okay, build new things. More people are coming, and we'll be ready for them. So that's basically what's going on with Lucifer right now. I'd go through his backstory, but it's very sad.
Depends on how sad you want to be.
If you're willing to go through it, do.
I'll do the backstory. So Lucifer, he was named Lucifer as a cruel joke by his parents, and they took off and left him and his, I want to say it nicely, I was going to say mentally challenged younger brother, and they were on their own for a while, and a group of bandits came and basically bludgeoned his little brother to death. So, and then Lucifer went and looked for work and found work at a bakery that Rosemary's mother happened to own, sweeping floors and whatnot, to survive. And that's where Rosemary and Lucifer met, and that's basically, Lucifer has a soft spot for mentally challenged people, so I don't know if you ever met Dern and Durg, but he tried to get them to join Arena, and then they died. And
By Helen, if I do recall correctly.
something like that.
But no,
I knew they were going to get killed.
Yep. I'm positive that Helen convinced Durg to go swim for something, and he swam out into the ocean and died. And then I think Dern went to go help him, and then he also drowned and died.
Well, that seems
That's what I
legit.
meant that. Yeah. And so, I have to go avenge Helen because she wasn't what people thought she was. Yeah, no, she drowned mentally handicapped people. More you know.
Evil.
Right?
Did you say Helen?
Yes, Helen.
Oh, as Lucifer, I was riding around, and I remember I just got I trained up in plate armor, just got steel royal plate, which cost like 182 flux for a whole set. And I just, I decided I'm gonna ride around and look like a badass for a while. Put my war scythe on my back, just started riding around on my horse with my armor on, and I came across Helen. She looked like she was having trouble with taming a horse, and I asked her if she needed help. She said, I'm playing a game. I asked her what game. She says, it's called Being a Little Bitch. You want to play? In character, I told her, I only do that with the wife. That was my interaction with one of the shield maidens. I generally tried to stay away from them because, Lucifer's a master of everything right now. Grandmaster Carpenter, Grandmaster Terraformer, Grandmaster Forester, famous person, famous plate mail master. I really don't want him to die by a shield maiden.
Ooh, the derisive way you said that, I enjoy it. By a shield maiden.
He will die at one point. Something's going to make
maybe
Lucifer
we'll get one
snap.
next week, but there's none left.
I'm sure Hirono would join. We should get something from their side for once. Spend 7 weeks beating on them. Maybe we should get their side.
I think it's been long enough.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I was almost actually one of them.
That's what I heard.
When Season 2 first started, they actually pulled us into a TeamSpeak and was like, hey, you want to do this? I was like, I can't do that, RP. Have fun.
Wasn't Aveen supposed to be part of that, too?
Yeah, we actually went over there when Grim Grey was doing something, so we show up, and she's like, we just stood there really awkwardly whilst two people fought about 5 feet in front of us, and Grim Grey kept circling us and his horse. I'm like, what are we doing here? She goes, I don't know. Just stood there terrified the entire time.
Grim Grey. Yeah, it's unfortunate all that stuff happened, because I would have paid to see Jam do a character that wasn't a bandit. Or just
Grim
wasn't
really
a mean character.
A horse and alcohol and fighting.
Pretty sure all of my characters have been asked to be a part of a whorehouse at least once. By anybody.
The whorehouse, as far as I understand, was mostly Moon's idea, and I know they asked nearly every woman on the server to be part of it, and there was some dissension among actually who would be working there as a whore and who would be like working the door and stuff, and I didn't see that working out RP wise very well. That's kind of one of those
that'd be one
subjects.
of those really hard things to RP.
Yeah.
Having experienced Moon's character Manish in Season 1, that does not surprise me. We actually have an ongoing joke in game, something about slipping him the old Manish, I'm sure you can guess what the joke's all about.
Yeah. Yeah, Manish used to stop by Stonewall all the time. When he first got going, he didn't know the game yet, so he's always coming by asking for stuff. And we'll trade with you. And he's like, all right, we'll trade. If you give us this now, we'll come back with twice what we're going to promise you. And, he would never show back up ever. He just never gave us anything.
Oh, no, we'll see someone come and do, that hip gyrating animation next to a horse, and we're like, oh, yeah, you're going to slip him the old Manish, huh?
I would have called that the Brody.
That's all I knew about his character from Season 1 was horses and things.
We lived right next to him as Cavalier and Selena, and we saw all those horses nice and lined up on either side of the path.
Yeah,
and then one day we came back there to trade with Midgard. I think it's Midgard they were called, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we went to trade with them, and this was right after Asher had come, and it was towards the end. He came and circled them, and we went there to trade with them, and all their horses were dead.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the end. Really.
Well, that's actually where my first character died. When I first started playing on Dynasty, I started a character after the Star Wars character Poe Dameron. I thought, that's a cool name, Star Wars character. No one's going to do a Star Wars name. So I went in there, 10 minutes into the game, first thing I did was go and I was sent to go trade for nails to get a monument up.
I didn't
And
know.
Asher was there, and he happened to be looking for a guy named Poe, and he cut my head off.
Yep.
And I got
Like,
blamed
okay,
for
that character
sending
named
him to
fucked
his
anyway.
death. Everyone's like, she killed her other stable boy. I'm like, I didn't know he was gonna die.
Again, Cavalier started that rumor.
Yeah, well, I heard about it for the rest of my days.
That was the idea.
That mistaken identity was
Reputation.
hilarious. It was so funny.
Were you there? Did you see that?
I was watching it at the time.
I'm sitting there trying to do a badly done Scottish accent, and, you know, with words I can't pronounce in Scottish.
I was getting a bunch of tells or whispers from people saying, "Hey, that's not the right Poe." I'm like, "I'm aware. Just keep watching because it's gonna be amazing." And then they killed you. I'm like,
I remember being told, you can bring your character back. It's like, no, that's a stupid name anyway. Oh, man, that was painful. That's where the salt came from in season 1. It's like, why did he do that? That hurt. Oh, man.
Deaths happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly to me.
Sorry about that. I'm sure you'll recover.
Emotional
One day,
stress.
maybe.
One day. Many years into the future.
I'll be hearing about this for years. Don't worry.
Definitely.
Just gotta adopt
Remember
the
that
attitude
time
that
Poe died? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, and just because JB can't watch, I need to ask you, have you encountered any snowmen recently?
Actually, I did the other day. I went to Sanctuary and there's a snowman sitting outside. And
Winter
I
is
was like,
coming. There's gonna be
"Oh,
plenty of snowmen.
no."
It was weird how
Weird.
that started, because we went to Crescent Reach when JB was still there. And I don't know if you were there, but we went there, and they had a snowman there as a decoration. I was telling him in character how this snowman made me uncomfortable. And then he started freaking out, saying, "Oh my god, it's starting to grow skin and bones," and swinging his sword at it.
And from
Oh,
then
man.
on, it was fantastic. We ended up having a snowman
build an army
starting
of
to
them.
be built in our place,
And
we
he
all
came
just
by
freaked
and he
out.
freaked out. Oh, it was great.
Got an army of
Snowmen and
okay.
pancakes. JB would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, it was so sad none of us were streaming that night, but we had
Oh,
this
man.
ongoing we were dying out of character while trying to maintain composure in character.
Oh, I broke
Like, he
everybody
was-
that night. I
We
would
were
say
just-
things, and they would burst laughing in game, like when they're trying to say something. I broke everybody.
I remember
It was
breaking
really good.
Xeoxus when I was boss. Like, they come up to capture me and they're like, "Is your name blah blah blah? Oh, what's your name?" And I'm like, "Brad Pitt." And Xeoxus seriously took like 15 minutes to recover. Because I was the ugliest motherfucking character you would ever meet. Like,
Oh man,
Brad Pitt.
that's funny too. Like the women in the women characters in the server, like none of the women characters really like Lucifer. I don't know why. He's like the nicest guy in the realm.
He is.
Like he's never done
married.
anything bad to any.
Because
Yeah, well,
he's married.
but he never does anything to anyone. But then I bring a guy like Morris in, and I go up to a woman like Ilva or Sophie and say, "Can I see your boobs?" And just randomly, because that's what he's in search of. And they're like,
boobs.
you know,
Well,
yeah,
but he
they
doesn't put it
befriended
exactly
him.
like that.
They befriended him. It's like, okay, that works.
You need that slightly bigger than life personality in the server. Everything's a kind of a caricature. Nice guys, they're gonna finish
I
last,
did the
man.
voice pretty well. Sounded like a pirate. Yeah. Neckbeard the pirate.
Well, speaking of womanizing, let's move on and find out about Logan.
What a segue.
Oh man.
Womanizing, yeah. Logan's only a relatively new character because obviously I was Gannicus, and that didn't end so well after he was bullied out of his gold mine, and not his gold mine, but bullied from his land for the gold mine, and then he ended up challenging Zacchaeus and getting his head cut off. And then after that, Gennicus's cousin Voss decided to come seek retribution. Like, we RP'd it that Gennicus sent him a letter. Anyway, he come with Morris, and he was there for a day, and then got falsely accused of attacking Jocelyn and got his head cut off. So now I got Logan.
I feel your pain, bro.
I couldn't believe what happened.
Wow.
I never agreed with the mistaken identity thing, because like by that logic, there's like 7 possible ways your character can look. So by that logic, I could kill
I've been here for a day.
Look like someone who's wronged me.
All we did was pretty much stuff around with Seoxes, and then Seoxes decided to capture me and turn me into Legend.
Yeah, what a great
Thank you,
friend.
Seoxes. And getting killed. Anyway, and then so Logan was born. He's a bit of an asshole, but his backstory is basically he was born in a brothel to a whore mum who didn't like him too much, and but while he was in the brothel, he learnt a lot of things from different men who came to the brothel and learnt the ways of business and how to manipulate and all that stuff. And he eventually manipulated his way into buying the brothel, owning the brothel, and the first thing he did was sell his mother off to slavery in the mines.
A bit of an asshole, you say.
Just for money.
Wow.
But so then anyway, so he spent many years making a lot of money from different brothels and fighting pits and gambling and that, and he's decided to come to the island to start a new town sort of thing with all that stuff. So there's currently a brothel there with no whores, but you know.
What's it
and
called?
the fighting pit's just about done. And then once it's done, I'm gonna have gambling in it, so people can actually place bets on fighters.
That's awesome.
I'll just write it down in real life, and I'll actually give fighters odds, so you can actually win money back. And so I'm actually really excited for it to actually start happening and see how it actually goes. But
That's fantastic.
Of course, you have to have a
Pretty
startup
awesome.
flux, and
yeah, we have to make a
that's-
stockpile of flux or gold or
that's
whatever
me.
to actually pay back.
What is your brothel called?
The brothel is colorfully named the Reach Around.
Mhm.
It was originally called Crescent Reach Around, then I shortened it to the Reach Around because I didn't want to piss certain people off.
Fair enough.
But,
Can I suggest using gold or silver in game? We're trying. A bunch of us are trying to get some use out of it. Actual.
yeah, well,
Currency.
that's
I
what
like
I would
that
like
idea.
to do. But Flux was the more convenient.
Yeah. I mean,
So I was kind of going to have Flux, like Flux is like $1. One Flux is like $1, but then like a silver bar would be like $100. And then like a gold bar would be like $1,000 sort of thing. But it would probably be easier to do it a different way, just like gold, silver, whatever.
yeah.
But
It's. I mean, Flux makes sense because it actually has value in the game,
Yeah.
but it's otherwise. What do we have gold for? You know, so part of the
Yeah,
storyline
exactly.
was like we were paying people gold to fight together to fight Grimgray
Well,
kind of thing. So
yeah, that's why when I was Gennicus and the gold mine, I was actually going around to all the, because the Zacchaeus wanted it so badly, I went around to all the keeps and was like, there's like 400 ingots of gold in this gold mine, like, it's all yours if you get rid of Zacchaeus for me, and they're like, I don't want gold.
Yeah.
Gold's pointless. I was like, oh well. But yeah, gold will be more convenient because we have a lot of it, so it'd be easier to stockpile for that reason.
Yep.
Gold goes, but the thing is, gold goes nowhere. I think we mined like
Yeah.
15,000 gold ore, got 27 ingots out of it.
Yeah, well, that's true, because no one's gonna, once you have Flux and you give it to someone, they're gonna spend it to make steel or whatever, and then it's gone. Gold,
Yep.
pretty much, you don't use for anything, so it's actually gonna be a rising currency.
Yeah, it's used in jewelry, so jewelry
Yeah.
could work. But yeah, if we can get together on the server, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just passionate about
Yeah, no,
getting this idea.
Well, that's
make it
what
a
I
currency.
wanted too. Yeah,
I agree.
I wanted to use it as a currency.
That's not only because I have a ton of it.
I've got a ton of
It's
silver.
not because I'm not friends with someone who is literally on a mountain of gold for his town, but
Yeah, and I've got a ton of silver at my place as well. So
I think we have both at Arena, actually. We have gold just over by Gannicus's old place, and then we have silver just down the hill.
yeah, so that's basically where I want to go with it, and hopefully it will work out. Like, I don't think I'm going to have the jousting thing, just because I don't really have the room there. But the fighting pit's looking pretty good. So
that's good.
and
Start
it's got a
getting it
little.
out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a little. It's got a little house next to the pit where you go in and place your bets and stuff.
Nice, very cool.
Awesome.
Got it all worked out.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you actually going to rename your keep the Nipple?
Oh, yeah. So my place is basically we call it the nipple because it's like looks like a nipple of the island, but its actual name is Ashfield. But I'm thinking about changing it to the nipple, but then I don't really want to. It's just the nickname that everyone calls it. I don't think I've ever actually called it Ashfield in game. Everyone's just like,
No, it's the
Yeah, the
nipple. I don't know
nipple.
what you're talking about. I didn't know it was called Ashfield for the
I'm
longest
sorry
time.
about that. I ruined your keep.
yeah, you can thank Tipway for that colourful
This is
name.
why people like Buckle hate me.
I dig it. He just picked on my headset like immediately, so I want to murder
Look
you.
at my headset. Duct tape together.
Duct tape fixes
Yours has
everything.
lights and stuff.
He's got a point. Yours does have lights.
But yeah, I was kind of I was going to go back to Gannicus's old place and actually take back over the place because I put a lot of work into building on a freaking mountain. But then I realised that I have an opportunity to not build on a mountain. So stop showing off, Buckle. so I moved up north, got away from all the drama of Southreach and all that shit because Southreach betrayed me, Seoxus. Seoxus was going to
Destroy
join
or
us
anything.
with Nash, but that never happened. Seoxus. But yeah, that's where we're at.
So I want to talk about Gannicus for a sec because Isolu was on here a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about how Gannicus was really the driving force between what turned out to be a pretty significant treaty between Crescent Reach and South Reach, and
You're welcome.
and that character died, and you seem to be like, yeah, characters die, which is refreshing, because a lot of people are like, man, my character
Shit
died. Yeah, let's get on Twitter and let everyone know about how mad I am. I mean, obviously you didn't set out to do that with a character, but this is the way I look at it. Had this little guy, just going, he had some gold. He got shoved out of his home for that want of gold, which is, a story that happens over and over again throughout time.
Yeah, it's history, yeah.
And tried to get people to fight Zacchaeus, which ends up making a large, lasting alliance, which then is one of the massive things that then toppled Grim Grey and the Seven Hells. Because of that alliance there, they had a lot of people.
Never thought about it that way. Sorry, Jim.
I mean, could some of those things have happened anyway, or already were in the process? Sure, but because Gannis was like, "Get off my land," and was eventually pushed out and killed.
What's funny too is I didn't have much of a problem with him digging up the gold because Gannicus, his people don't put any value on gold, so he didn't want the gold. But he was a proud construction. He loved his work, and he was building a nice fucking road through the forest there. And Asui comes and trashes the place with all the shit he dug up for the gold mine. And all I wanted was the road to get repaired, and he never repaired it. So that's well, fine. I'm going to take your gold.
It's one of those things where it wasn't fighting to
Interesting.
start, but yeah, it was a diplomatic type thing that happened, and people are now bigger allies because of it. I thought that was really interesting when he was telling us about it a couple of weeks ago. Then we saw what the result of that was. And one of the poignant thoughts I had was, holy shit, Crescent Reach is here because they're allied with South Reach because of fucking CorkBottle. I was like that's nuts.
Cork, you were the glue, man. You were the glue.
I'll make the server run.
That's pretty awesome, though. It goes back to
It is,
we were saying
yeah.
a couple weeks ago, where a character's death doesn't have to be the end of their story.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you got to look at it too. If Gennicus never died, there's a good chance it would have been completely different. But Gennicus went to Crescent Reach and challenged him. He knew he was going to die, straight up. I knew I was going to die. I was like, I'm going to go up against I can't fight for shit on the server anyway because of the latency.
Well, if Gennicus hadn't died, Grim Grey probably wouldn't have come back. He knew you were out there.
That's why I kind of try to make characters that are more businessmen and more people who create issues as opposed to just killing, in which Gennicus and Voss kind of did too, because Voss nearly started a war between Crescent Reach and South Reach. On the first day, we were there, and there was almost an all-out war, because there was people from Legend at South Reach, there was people from Crescent Reach there, and there was the South Reach people there, obviously. And Zacchaeus comes chasing Morrissey in with Voss and that, and then there was literally almost a diplomatic incident right on the steps of South Reach, all because Voss decided to come in and start throwing threats around because of Gennicus. So, but yeah, it's interesting how it works.
Causing all sorts of trouble over there.
Yeah, I prefer to cause trouble through that method as opposed to just going around killing people for no reason.
That's good.
Sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people are adopting that. And is there room for someone to just go around and be aggressive and murder happy? Sure, but I would hope that majority of people are more I'm going to kill you, and then it leads up to it eventually, or give them time to fight back.
Yeah, and as Sioxus just pointed out, if it wasn't for Voss, Sophie and Zacchaeus would have never got together.
That's a good point.
They get married. And then that also caused the marriage, which is another big reason why the attack happened on Grim. So there's another one of my characters causing Grim Grey to death. I'm sorry, Jam.
So you mentioned that because the connection to the server is a little higher latency than most people, so you tend towards the businessman characters or the RP troublemakers. Is that where you would fall naturally with RP, or if you had a bit more ping or a bit better ping, would you be a more aggressive fighter kind of character?
I don't think so. I like doing the RP and the business and the scheming and all that sort of stuff. It's just more interesting than outright fighting. Not to say I wouldn't make a character. I made Voss as an aggressive character who is going to attack and kill people. But once it was the first time I really tried to fight anyone was as Voss and at the end as Gennicus, and then that was when I really realised that the ping was affecting the fighting. So then that's why I sort of made Logan as a full-on businessman. He'd rather manipulate people into killing his enemies as opposed to just outright killing themselves. He look at him like a Roman man of a house. So they're all scheming pricks. They were. Yeah, they're all. It was all about politics and bribery and blackmail and all that, as opposed to straight up, face-to-face fighting sort of thing.
Get some gladiators.
I kind of based him. I kind of loosely based him on the character from Spartacus, which is the Lannister dude, Batiatus.
Did I hear your codec going on?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I kind of loosely based him on that guy.
That's cool.
It's a good character archetype to start from, and then start filling in your own personal touches. That's very cool.
Yeah, with the mother and the poor upbringing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't actually seen that since the first season.
Really? Missing out.
I have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I should go back and watch it as well. I was put off when they changed actors, but then you find out why.
Yeah,
Okay.
Can't help death.
Yep. Fair enough. Yeah.
Feel good. They're all Australian actors. Woo. Represent.
Night, Elmo.
Take it easy, Elmo.
That's right then.
He's right in the middle. You're working towards going to bed. Cork's already slept and woken up. Poor Elmo, right in the middle.
I'm from the future. It's 11:26 a.m. on a Sunday.
Cork, what year and model is your DeLorean?
1976.
How's tomorrow, Cork? Is it a good day?
It's hot.
Oh,
About 39 degrees.
Actually, it is pretty nice out here. So it's like 60 degrees today.
It's too warm for this time of year.
It's like -1 or something here.
I'm Canadian, so I could live under a block of ice and I'd be fine.
I prefer the cold. I'm Australian, but I don't like the heat. I'm a weird Australian because I'm Irish, but I'm Irish Australian. My complexion doesn't go well in the sun.
That's weird, man.
You're weird.
Let's come back.
Short and sweet.
No. If I wanted my comeback, I'd wipe it off your mum's mouth.
Oh boy.
So yeah, well, given that drama.
Sorry, I'm Australian. I can't help it.
Yeah, right.
We're assholes.
So yeah, given what had happened this week, last weekend, and what has been a current trend, not say current trend, it's something that's been going on even since the Season 1 server, is people call it salt, which I think is kind of dismissive of the fact that sometimes people can be legitimately upset, but it's still that you're becoming upset because of what's happening in game. Now, this may not happen to you guys, but I think maybe, Cork, you could speak to this a little bit since you already even mentioned it. It's how do we divide what's going on in the game from those high emotions from how we feel about it outside of game? You know, we're all on the server to have fun. We all know a large portion of it. We've hang out in Twitch chats with these people, play other games with them maybe. How do we divide that? So you start with you, Cork. I mean, your character was killed, and I think maybe you were. I seem to think that maybe you were a little upset about it at the start. But how do you move on from that? My character was killed. My storyline's trashed. We hope that the other people are respectful, right? And
yeah. I wasn't so salty about Gannikas because I kind of ended up accepting the fate. But with Voss, I was a lot more salty because of the way it happened. Because it wasn't really RP'd out. Because basically I got Seoxus and I think it was Naz. Yeah, came. They were bounty hunters or something, and they came and captured me, and I went along with it, and got led to legend, and I was expecting like some sort of trial or something like that, or discussion or something. Anyway, I got in there, they knocked me out. I don't even know who. I think it was Crispin said to Jocelyn, "Is this the guy who attacked you?" She goes, "Yes," and he goes, "We'll kill him," and then she killed me. I was just like, really? Like, so I was salty over that because it was just so abrupt. But then I just got over it because like I'd only created that character like that day. So, and I knew he wasn't going to last long anyway because he was an asshole.
Well, so that's an interesting situation.
Yeah, we went into that hoping that we would get on everyone's bad side. But
yeah, and we did.
We were immediately on people's bad
keep.
side without. We didn't even have to do anything.
We almost started a war between every keep within a day. It was beautiful.
Well, okay, so I guess you understood already that the character was disposable, more or less.
Yeah.
But that's a tough situation, and I think that given no chance to RP guilt or innocence, I would probably respond in very much the same way.
Yeah.
Well, that derails my whole thing about forgive and forget, because I would just go yell at those guys at TMC. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like, I was pissed off. Like, I literally screamed at him through the mic in-game, but that's what my character would have done anyway. Like,
Sure.
pretty much called them all fucking cunts, which is what my character would have done anyway.
Well, that probably didn't
it felt
expedite
good.
your innocence.
It felt good screaming it out. But yeah, like, even I was in TS with Seoxys and Naz, and they were pretty shocked by it as well, how abrupt it was. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, based on what I look like? Like...
Well, so at least that's a decent RP reason, right? You know,
Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
Paladin, you mentioned it. Yeah, there's a limited amount of people that you can look like, right? And if you pick that face that's got like the messed up eye, which I'll never take, but it's like you then
That's
automatically
exactly
look
what
like
Boss
everyone.
had.
Oh, really? So yeah, all those people look exactly alike. You know, no matter what your hairstyle and stuff, you just got that stupid gibby eye for some reason. So in a situation like that, how do you get yourself out of it? How do you say you got over it? How do you get over that? Like, it's maybe that character wasn't disposable. Maybe you had 1,200 hours on it like that. And yes, I mean, I've said this before. Sometimes people are just hit by a bus, and that's the way the story ends. And you get over it. But
Life's short, like, and it's abrupt. You're not gonna know when you're not supposed to know when it ends.
yeah,
Like, how many people in history, like, have been killed so abruptly, who were big major figures in history, and they were suddenly killed? It's the same thing in a game.
Because Voss went in there calling them all names and all that stuff, like, go on, do it, you bastards. When Morris got taken into Legend, he cried. Then he got let go.
well, so
Voss
then, all right.
Voss, as the character, Voss wasn't going to beg for his life. Like, I thought about it, and then I'm like, well, my character wouldn't beg for his life.
Well, Morris didn't beg either. Morris
but he wouldn't
just maintain
try
his innocence.
Yeah, he wouldn't try and maintain his innocence because he wasn't an innocent man, but he knows he didn't do it. He said, I've never seen this woman before. I've only been on the island for a day. That's all he said. He wasn't going to fight it, and then, yeah, he died. But, you know, I was salty for a little bit, and then I was like, oh, new character, let's go.
I knew from the
Perfect way to
second
handle
that the Legend people confronted us at Southreach there during the whole during the whole Zacchaeus thing, that I knew when Legend confronted us we were screwed. We were screwed.
When that sleeping dragon raises up and does something, yeah, Legend can be pretty scary like that. And Booney and Melly, they give us some bit of backstory to that, which is good. All right, so you got over it and you understood it. But for all three of you guys, say you're coming up in a situation with RP, and you're just not happy with the way it's going, and it could be, you know, like, I mean, I think all three of you are pretty good about just rolling with whatever comes at you, which is good. But when drama starts to brew, and it's either yourself feeling it, or feeling it against you, or just people around you, I think talking to the other players is warranted. And I feel like a lot of people on the server don't have that same opinion. They let it fester, and they don't talk. And that's maybe why we get a blowout like we had last weekend, where it's people who were upset didn't talk about it, and it came out in ways that we weren't expecting. So either in this game or other games, have you ever had experiences like that, where players or yourself didn't talk about it?
Well, a lot of the times, like, I think players feel like they can't talk about it. Like,
Yeah, there's a certain amount
they feel like if they do talk about it, I don't know, like I guess they get afraid on whether they get removed from the whitelist or whatever. They feel like they can't talk about it, and that's a valid fear. I mean, you get removed from the whitelist, you're screwed anyway.
Some people, I believe some people are getting banned for minute reasons lately, but
there's a certain amount of being called salty that starts to, like, make you so you don't want to say anything at all if you're even remotely upset, because you're going to be called salty either way. And I mean, we hear so much about someone was salty and now everyone hates them, or, you know, it's just, you're not allowed to be salty.
There's an underlying fear.
Yeah, and there's that underlying fear. If I'm salty, if I act like I'm upset over a situation, am I going to get removed from the whitelist? Am I going to get in trouble for this? Because, you killed my character and I don't know why, and I want to ask you, but then the second I ask you, you're gonna say I'm being salty.
Claim harassment, yeah.
Because I've seen people be called salty who, in my opinion, I didn't think they were being salty at all. Going back to first season with Thor, when he was killed, he took it like a champ, and then was called out for being salty.
Oh, he was massacred.
Yeah, he took that, though. He was so good about it. I was talking to him in Steam and stuff, and he's like, oh, yep, I knew that was going to happen. I walked into that, and then was immediately called salty for it. So it was a situation of, how much can I actually say? And there's the mentality of what'll happen if I do say something that's going to get me in trouble.
I'm so glad you guys all said that.
Well, at the end of the day, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's like for a successful community, people have to be willing to hear you and not just shut you down.
Yeah, there's got to be a sense of moderation when it comes to the.
Now, if you conduct yourself like a dumbass, then yeah, get rid of them. But I mean,
yeah, there's being salty, and then there's outright
to approach it.
Trolling.
Yep. So those are the same thoughts I had, and at first I want to say, like, I can't say for sure. Melly and Booney are in chat though, so maybe they can help. I think that anyone, and Paladin, you hit it, who conducts themselves well, you know, if you feel like you want to rage because of something that happened, whether warranted or not, maybe let that feeling pass first, and then you feel like rules are actually broken, something like that, or you're feeling bullied, things like that. I don't think that if you conduct yourself well, bring it to the attention of the admin, say, here's the situation as I'm seeing it, that anyone can accuse you of that, of being salty, upset, unduly upset, and I surely don't think anyone's going to remove you from the whitelist. Now, caveats being, if you're complaining about every little thing under the sun, or you're acting like a rage monster, you're probably going to get booted. But I think that there's a strikes policy, at least I think, saying, you know, you'll get a warning before anyone just removes you. But Nixie, I think you said it well, is that so many people have gone out there and said, oh, so-and-so's being salty, and now we're all supposed to be mad at them. That does create a climate of feeling like we're unable to say something if we're backed into a corner. And hopefully, you know, by talking about it now and by taking that attitude out, we can help show people, be cool, be calm. If you can look to the rules and see yourself being you know, bullied or pressured into doing things, you know, then you can talk about it. You can actually speak up about it.
Well, there has to be a sort of a cooling off period too, because like, if you've got a character who's got 1,200 hours plus or whatever, and they get killed, and you're not happy about it, and you're salty, understandably you're going to be probably angry for a day or so. So within that time, depending on, like, obviously if you go on a Twitter tirade or something like that, then that's you need to be told to pull your head in. But if you continue on with it after that cooling off period where you should be calming down, then that's when things should start to get a bit more serious and looked at. But simply getting warned just because you're a bit salty over a character that's been killed is
part of my issue
too abrupt.
Is sometimes the story isn't told on both sides. Occasionally, if it's called salty or whatever happens with things, both sides aren't investigated fully. Like, say somebody gets called out for something, and they get warned, but they were never told that there's a reason to be warned or whatever. There's also a kind of an aspect of if you don't want to talk about it at all because you're afraid that they're not going to hear your side. I see a puppy.
It's a matter of a lot of people seem to think that if they complain about something that it's going to be classified as harassment and they're going to be banned. Like being warned for no reason, and you're trying to think what's the reason, and you turn around and ask, why did I get warned? Like I haven't done anything wrong. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like when you think you haven't done anything wrong and you're getting warned for something, and you want to ask the question, like, why am I getting warned? I haven't done anything wrong. But then you're too afraid to ask the question.
Yeah. And like, I know this might be weird to say, but like, as much as the players, the general community needs to exercise restraint and like calm down and all that stuff, the authoritative figures need to kind of do the same thing, you know? Like, you know, not be so quick to, you know what I mean?
Yes. And I want to say that probably in the Season 1 era, because it was so new, so fresh, so volatile, that there probably was a little bit of knee-jerk there. I think in Season 2, it's been much better, and in particular, Melly and Booney are doing a very good job and would be willing to listen to your issues. Now, I did say, what was it, last week or the week before, don't bug them for every little thing under the sun. Just handle it and be cool, you know, be better adults. But in general, stuff like this, I know they use all the tools at their disposal to make sure that people, if something has gone wrong, it's handled professionally. And so I don't think we have to worry about that so much anymore.
Some of this was before Melly and Booney became GMs.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we're not pointing fingers at anybody.
Nope, I get you. Yeah, no, I get you.
I'd really love to see eventually a forum system be brought up for Twitch Dynasty, just because it has a more professional way of
and to be
reporting
honest,
things with like tickets and stuff, which I've seen on other.
The Twitter thing's kind of clunky.
Well, I've been on other RP games like San Andreas multiplayer, where they have a forum system, and if somebody has an issue, you can report it to the admins.
A forum would probably be a pretty good thing, and I don't think anyone really anticipated how big this was going to blow up. This
That's
server,
definitely.
And so there's growing pains here, and yeah, if the server population starts, it has come back up because of the whitelisting everyone's done, which is great. We're seeing a lot of great new people in there. If we keep rebuilding back that, I think people are cooling off this week a little bit because of the war. These are options that probably should be pursued, and by doing that, by being able to, you know, set up a forum or something, or just be able to get both sides of a disagreement involved, like you were saying, Cork. That's it's a good way to make sure to minimize. Let's take the rule violation out of it. It's a good way to get two people to agree that they were in a situation they were both very passionate about and butted heads. And now how can we cool them down? And that may not even require the admins or even reporting anymore. Maybe we just take that out of it and take 2 or 3 people who may have gotten into an argument. How do we cool them down because their story didn't go the way they wanted it to? Because the work they put in has now been ended because they've died, or their target to kill has been killed by someone else. Just to make sure that Melly will listen, Booney will tell you to go fuck your dad. Good. Okay. Well, there's your knee jerk. So, in my opinion, in my experiences so far, I know that I've pissed people off by killing them or not. This game, other games like that, but there's a certain degree of having respect towards the other player, and I think we mentioned this last week about respect towards streamers when you know they're streaming. That doesn't make them a protected class, so to speak, but try not to just show up on their stream and kill them, even if it's necessary. Give them some drama, give them a story to play off of, and then I think everyone walks away happy. So in situations like you're saying, you were pulled in and killed, even though there was some lead up there, you were given time to shout in their faces, call them all cunts. So at least you got that, you know, in order to plead your case. And they probably killed you because you were calling them all cunts. You know, Morris cried, he got out of it.
He cried, he didn't beg.
Sometimes
I'm not saying
you'll
he
be alright.
deserved to die, but I expect him to die at the hands of Zacchaeus.
Yeah, we totally deserve to die, just not that way.
In a fight.
So what do you do? You got a player who's now mad at you because of that situation. You've created this situation for them. What do you do? How do you use your RP to calm the player down? Have you guys been in that situation at all?
I don't kill people.
Not particularly, no.
I mean, killing is a major thing, sure. But there's other stuff going on where it's before there was even a death of Gannicus, there was trying to get his gold. There was no death there, but there was definitely...
Gannicus definitely had it was probably about 2 weeks worth of RP fighting back and forth, arguments, and like we even Zacchaeus and I made a treaty where I wasn't going to upgrade my monument until they got all the gold they wanted out of it. And there was a big pile of gold stacked up in front of the gold mine, which was silly, and someone stole it all. Or took it all, because it was sitting there out in the open. So I went to Crescent Reach and told them and asked for the materials to upgrade my monument to protect it, which I did. Zacchaeus wasn't happy about that because he wasn't there when I got the materials. And then Zacchaeus comes in saying, I broke the treaty. I have to dig out all the gold and give it to him. That's when Gennicus turned around and said, well, I'm not going to do that. And then destroyed his monument. And, yeah, ended up going around saying his goodbyes. He said his goodbyes to Lucifer and that, and then he tried to get some allies to go up against Crescent Reach, which didn't work, so he just went by himself and died.
He didn't just say his goodbyes with Lucifer. Lucifer tried to talk him out of it.
Oh yeah, no, that was one of the best RP
you
experiences.
idiot! Don't
saying
do
goodbye
this.
to Lucifer, saying goodbye. That discussion, like Lucifer was begging him not to do it, and Gennicus is like, "Oh, I have to do it. This is like, I have nothing else left in life." So and then it was like such a touching goodbye, and then yeah.
See, that wasn't fighting Paladin. And that would have been great to stream.
Rosemary
Just throwing it out.
Yeah, I wish I was streaming that, but
I did.
wasn't.
Rosemary was so upset when she found out Gannicus was gone. Like, it was a moment of, what? kind of.
It actually hit people. That's what I like. I want a character that when they die, it actually impacts. Like people are actually impacted. By
We
it.
were really good friends with Gannicus, Rosemary, and Lucifer. Like, they got along really well. We would go over there. He would come over to our place.
Well, it's funny how that started too. It started because like we had this idea of building an inn and tavern on a mountain, and then behind us there's another guy building an inn and tavern. So
On the same mountain.
Yeah, well,
Pretty much
yeah,
the
on
same
a different,
mountain.
just like the neighboring mountain, and we kind of went over there and it's like, okay, we could recruit him, so we don't have competition. And if he doesn't join us, we'll just kill him, Neither of those things ended up happening. We ended up being great friends in character and out of character too.
You wouldn't
Yeah,
really
actually,
kill
it's
them,
kinda-
though, would you have? Sorry,
I
Nixie.
don't know.
I couldn't have killed him. Like up until like a
That's what I
couple of
thought.
weeks ago, like I've been training with Vicon on fighting, in character fighting. So I wouldn't have been able to kill him because I was just shit at PvP. So
No, you probably would have. I'm no better. I probably would have fallen off a cliff or something.
turns out I'm really good at hitting people in the head with a night sword, though.
Oh, well, that works for
Fair
you.
enough.
It's actually
coming
funny,
back-
though, because you put us all together in the same one, and we've become, like, really close
Yeah.
friends. Like,
That's why
me, Paladin,
when
and...
I got the message of Cold Fusion yesterday saying, "Oh, can you come on tomorrow?" I was like, "Fuck yes!" Like, because like all our characters have been pretty intertwined since Gennicus and that met, so it's been really good. But
Yeah, thanks for standing in on short notice.
yeah, no,
That's working out nicely. It's the first time we've had a group of players who've all played together consistently, kind of
Yeah.
thing. We usually been picking spots here and there and seeing how they all clash and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
And but coming back to the GM thing, I kind of feel like there should be more GMs, more than two, because my example is I play because I'm Australian, so I play at my night time, which is about between 3 and 6 a.m. in America. So there's not many people on. There's very, very rarely a GM on at that time. I kind of feel like there needs to be some sort of GMs. So there's some kind of a GM on at all times, sort of thing. And also, the more like if there's more than 2 GMs, when there's a case where there's an issue where they're thinking about banning someone, those GMs can all come together and have discuss the facts and have a verdict and vote whether or not that bad. 2 people, I kind of feel. I'm not saying they're doing a bad job. I'm just saying that 2 people.
It's a lot for 2 people.
It's a 50-50 vote. You know what I mean? Like to ban someone. If there's more than 2, like 4 or 5, then it can be a vote that can actually whether or not they deserve to get banned or not.
I'm going to assume that now that Melly and Booney are part of sort of that mod team, that it's obviously they're,
I can't,
increased
like-
or-
there's probably more discussion now that there's more of them. but it's not a bad idea. At least one for your time zone. That would be probably pretty nice too, huh?
Yeah, like,
that's tough.
I'd put my hand up for it, but like, because I get sick of seeing people chop down logs and just leave them in the bush. Like, that's my pet fucking hate. Seriously, I just want to get off my horse.
And I'm sitting here thinking, did you not read the rules?
I know. I just want to get off my horse and saw the fucking log out. But half the time, I've gone past sections of forest where there's been like 20 logs chopped down and scattered around. I just want to.
Well, there's some stuff like that. Screenshot, showing your location on the map as well.
I know, but
the Twitch Dynasty, that'll work as well.
Yeah, it's true, but like I said, 2 people, that's a lot of work in a way, and they might be busy or they might not be on. So
Or just wanting to play themselves too. It's a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah,
so that's one of those things. They are in chat. They can hear you right now. They're confirming what you said, Cole. Yeah, they're still active in decision making, which is great.
Yeah, Jam and Crom are still active, but I feel like Jam particularly, and sort of Crom as well, they're trying to distance themselves from the Dynasty for a little while after the events, but
They're probably taking a little break. I took a break for a couple of days too after I was killed, so there's no shame in that. Yeah, I mean, they're hearing your suggestion right now. And she's saying nothing's done without them all talking about, which is great. And she's on during your... Looks like she's saying she's on during your time zone as well. I think, 'cause she's up at nights and sleeps during the day or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, that's an option there. They probably didn't know already that she's available if you need her. But little stuff like that, I think they could definitely be reported for, not the stumps all over the place is little, but that can be reported via the Twitter.
As an example.
Yeah, no, I get you. Because, there's a section near us that's, like, littered with stumps, and I can't even be bothered. I'm just going to sit there and be mad about it. I'm going to sit there and stew instead of go fix it myself.
I've seen stumps in areas before, and it's just like, okay, I got to dig these out, and spend, 40 minutes digging out stumps.
Yeah, but you made the community better for everyone, though.
Season 1, I spent hours digging other people's stumps out.
Yeah. I think Vesper do a whole stream of digging up people's stumps. She's like, fuck it, it needs to happen. And she just had someone walking with her for RP. Like, alright, well, fair enough. 2 things getting done. But, no, I hear what you're saying, Cork. And, hopefully now you know that there's a GM for that time period. But, maybe another 1 or 2 wouldn't be bad. At least help to split the load. As long as they don't, if they're not feeling overworked now, that's good. Leave it as is. But something to suggest to them.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah. Alright, so my takeaway now, you guys very briefly got into it, and then you peeled back real quick about not wanting to seem salty, not wanting to speak up for fear that hopefully now I think everyone knows that there's no shame in speaking up about it, whether it be to an admin or to just a fellow player. Hey, if something goes wrong, it can be fixed. We're all adults, right?
Well, some.
Maybe. Sure.
Should be.
I'd consider myself more of a man-child.
We should
That's
all
fair.
vote.
Myself as well.
My Scooby-Doo pajamas agree.
Really play roleplay and geek in front of computers for 7 hours a day. So, man-child might be more appropriate for most of us.
Yeah. I have literal toys on my desk, so, I can't judge.
Hey man, me too.
I have a giant stormtrooper sitting right there.
Well illustrated, sir. Well illustrated. Forgetting you, Nikki. Alright, so let's move away from that then. What other RP have you guys done besides this? Besides Life is Feudal, where do your RP backgrounds come from?
Nothing.
Okay.
It's the first time. Gennicus was the first time I ever played an RP character.
Shut up, Fecal.
So, I've actually done forum roleplay for over 10 years before I started getting into gaming roleplay.
Never understood forum roleplay.
Fair, man. You roleplay when you want to. You come back to it later. It's great. Shut up. Don't judge.
Yeah. I did a lot of writing since I was like 12 years old. I got into forum roleplay, various genres. Don't get me started. But I actually moved into gaming roleplay in San Andreas multiplayer, which I was on an RP server, and that's actually how I met Paladin Goo. He was an admin on the server I was a part of. So that was always kind of cool. I actually moved away from Sam.
I was the admin.
He was the head admin. Like, he was cool. He still is cool.
I was king shit around there.
He seriously ran everything. It was amazing. And I was like, he's the head admin. Ooh. But that was a couple years ago now. I haven't done that for a while. And then I mostly just did gaming RP. And then I went to Reign of Kings. And Reign of Kings was the first time I ever RP'd using my own voice, and I was terrified. And that was like last year.
I hated Reign of Kings.
It was more the experience, I think, than the game. It was being able to use my own voice to get into the character, which was weird. Because I've played guy characters in the past on Forum RP. I can't do that. Because I'm a little too feminine.
Just get yourself a mix amp, turn your voice up a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I can empathize with that a lot.
But, you know,
I need to do that because I got such a
different.
nasally, whiny tone of a voice.
You sound fine across mics.
I was going to say, you sound fine.
Deepen my voice a bit.
Yeah, I've actually RP'd most of my life until I got into Life is Feudal, which I think I was watching streams one day when I found Life is Feudal. And it's like, oh my god, they have RP there? Count me.
I don't think I could play this game without RP though, like, to be honest.
Oh yeah, without RP, this.
And I don't think I could play it on another server either, like.
Without RP, it may as well be DayZ.
Yeah. I'd love an RP DayZ server, like a full-on fledged RP.
The only good one's
Especially
really
when they
hard to
had
get
base
on.
building.
I was on DayZ RP for a while, and then I got unwhitelisted for no reason.
I have a lot of butt hurt towards DayZ. I do.
The game itself, or
Yeah, just the game. Well, the community. Like, everyone wants to kill me. I don't know why.
yeah,
It's not just you. Everybody wants to kill you.
I don't go looking
that's
to kill
90% of
anyone.
players.
I've
just wanna
saved
get
people who've turned around and shot me in the head for no reason, like.
Yeah, that'll happen.
DayZ.
So
Just
Cork, I kind
steal
of
their
expected.
shoes.
Sorry, go ahead, Colt.
I was just say, steal their shoes. It's my
Jensen's
favourite
pet.
tactics.
I was expecting at least one of you was going to say had never RP'd before until this game and this server. And call me crazy, but I'm going to say that a lot of the issues and drama have come about because this is the first time that a lot of people have RP'd before, and they're just flexing their wings a little bit. And Nixie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when you started out, you know, you 12, maybe a little young, but were there not times where you're like, I don't understand why anyone is doing any of these things, and it makes me mad? Because that's the way I was when I first got into it. People were doing stuff all the time because everyone wants to be the hero.
Well, when I started off, I was on Harry Potter forums. So, you know, I was magic and going
I'm just
to
going
school.
to mute you. I'm just going to go ahead and drop you down to 0. All better.
So easy to ban.
Yeah,
See,
I'm a nerd.
with-
No, I'm just kidding. That
With
sounds fun.
Gennicus, I made Gennicus because I knew he was my first character. I knew it was my first time RPing. I didn't really want to get in conflict, and it wasn't in. I didn't really RP with anyone but Classy and Lucifer until Zacchaeus came along with mine, and that was like probably 3 weeks in because I wanted to learn everything with one character, and then when my next character, I went full RP and I did nothing but RP. Now I've gone back to building / RP. So.
Full RP, and
It's
look where
not
that
with you.
got you.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm
I
envious that one of your first RP experiences was hanging out with Classy, because holy shit.
Yeah,
That was mine on
literally
Life
my
is
first.
Feudal.
Actually, no. Okay, to be honest, Lucifer, like Paladin, was my first in-game like RP. Like, the first time I saw anyone in-game, he rode up in a horse and he goes, "I like trees," and I was like,
That's
"Cool,
pretty much how that went.
nice."
Grandmaster Forrester.
And then like the next full-on RP was Paddy Pax with I don't know who he was with. I think it was with Brody and
Probably Brody. Or Helen.
it was Brody and someone one of the shoot. No, I think it was Verona.
Yeah, and Helen.
And she said I had a nice butt. Gannikus had a nice butt. And then I gave him some fucks. But yeah, it was good. And then I discovered Pax, and I was like, he's funny.
Yeah, even when he's stealing our shit, he's really funny.
When I first started role-playing on Life is Feudal at All, first season, the first person I ran into, besides Rickard's Landing, the first person I actually RP'd with was Pax. I just ran into him on the side of the road and waved at him. and then it started a whole storyline with Nixie and Valdemar, which was awesome last season.
You playing towards Valdemar's death, where you're just screaming at Asher, and then cut down. I was like...
I was actually rather proud of that RP. I was like, yes. I had been stuck in a tree for like an hour. And
that was like...
That was totally her, yeah.
That's like the first time I ever watched Life is Feudal stream.
Yeah, I was Nixie Barker. Valdemar was killed by King Asher, and then I was stuck in a tree up the hill. When Valdemar looks up towards the hill and goes, "She's not there," I'm like, I'm there, I'm in the tree. I was stuck in the damn tree. I didn't know /stuck either. I was new enough to the game.
That's so
sitting
funny.
there. I'm like, I need to get down there. I need to save Valdemar, but I can't get out of this tree. And so I get out of the tree finally, just as he's going into the castle, and I go, okay, I'm going for it. And I just bolt, and I get to the gate, and I go full in character, just like, it actually was, I hurt afterwards. I was like, oh, that was intense and sad.
I love
But I
those
was so
moments.
happy with how that RP turned out, because I went in there knowing I was going to die at the end of Season 1. Me and Pax had actually talked about it. We're like, we're going to die at the end of Season 1. That's just how we have to end it. So I went in there knowing full well I was going to get cut down, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I was not expecting him to cut you down at all. That was just...
I was.
No, I mean, you had a legitimate reason. Nixie had a legitimate reason to scream at that point, and I really thought, like, Asher has learned. He knows his lesson. You know, he understands his actions caused everything out there. Not everything. That, some of that was pushed, but still, to the grieving Nixie be like, nah, I've had enough of you, and then just cut her down. Like, I'm out. I can't do this. This is too much on my heart. It's enough. So well done. It was nice.
Is that a tear I see there?
I actually watched it back later, because I went into his chat when I was done, like after I died, and he said I was really loud, and I was like, oh no. But then I went back and I watched it, and I was like, okay, it wasn't horrible. It was loud and in your face, and that's what I was hoping for.
That's what it was.
But I was like, I was so worried I'd like broken my mic at one point, and I got so lucky that VoIP decided to work when it needed to at that point. Because can you imagine how much that would have ruined the moment? I run up and like, oh, I'm sorry, did you say something? Let me relog real fast.
Yeah.
Season 1 in a nutshell.
Oh man.
On a random note, because the mods are still here, I think. Is there any way to reset clay pits without resetting the server?
Melly goes and fills them back up. Yep.
Alright, cool. Because a lot of them are getting empty.
That's good news.
Yeah, I know she fills up a bunch of them, and I know that sounds like the worst job I've ever heard. But if you know a location of a couple, I'd say like circle them on a map or something and shoot them over at her, because she logged on GM and just goes and fills them back up with clay.
Cool. There's a big one on the east coast that's getting really empty. Near the Tribunal games.
So, hopefully we didn't empty that one out. Yeah, so that's something to do too. Or I know there's a couple clay pits that got swallowed up by claims. Crucible accidentally ended up getting them once like our monument got really big. We got like 3 or 4 over there.
Sentry or Fenris Keep took one too. The one closest to my house has got a settlement on top of it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's we were hoping people would come trade with us anyway for the clay. We like set up it as a big pile, like because we didn't want people to think we claimed it, and then no one came to do it. So we just Pope went and put it all back in the thing. So So you can trade for it, or yeah. Yep, and she's right there. So you can refill them this week. So
Cool.
there you go.
Awesome.
I
I
thought
just
they
didn't know
refilled.
if they got refilled or not. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought they on server restarts that they filled back up until Midgard set up next to us, and we were just finishing our walls when we went out, and it was just like grass. Like, oh, I guess
Yeah.
Midgard's been here. Like we used to have clay. So yeah, so what keeps you guys coming back to the server to play? I mean, obviously Die Hard's here. You've been playing since season 1. Still logging in, what, daily? Probably hourly still on the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We're always in the game. I think us three, we're probably in the game more than pretty much anybody collectively.
Yeah.
I have no life.
I did 120 hours in my first week.
Yeah. I feel you there.
But I more so than the RP, I enjoy the building aspect of it. I find it kind of therapeutic to build and do a lot of the sort of things. It's a nice escape. Like life sometimes gets you down, and then just tuning out and going into a second life in a way, basically, and just building stuff is therapeutic in a way. And especially like making new friends. Like Nixie and Paladin I never knew before season 1, and I've pretty much talked to them daily since, and we've become good friends because of it. That's the main reason I play. Like the RP is fun, but that's the main reason I jump on every day.
That's good. Yeah, you can tell that if someone wants to level a mountain, that's gotta feel pretty damn therapeutic too. Like, life sucks. Let's go make a mountain flat because I can do that.
That's exactly what we were thinking.
Yeah, making a mountain flat to make the world's troubles go away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Chop
exactly
down.
what it's done.
Because it
Yeah.
sounds like it just needs some more troubles for you guys.
Occasionally. Part of it is the game, though. It's a good game in most aspects. It has its troubles, obviously. It gets really frustrating when the game decides not to work for you.
Mhm.
Like last night when we had an issue with logs disappearing.
Yeah. 185
180 logs
building
down the
logs
drain.
gone. The
We had
pain.
sought out a bunch. Or actually, Cork had sought out a bunch, and then it
Yeah, I
just
sorted out
stuck 'em up.
180. And then when we went to pick them up, because the server was about to restart, you obviously can't pick up 180 logs straight off the bat, and then they vanish.
Actually, the game did glitch out. It wasn't allowing us
Yeah.
to take any out of the
Yeah, we
bag.
couldn't even
It
take
was-
them out of the bag.
Yeah,
the game just
it
decided
wasn't
to
allowing us
swallow our
split 'em,
logs.
It just took them.
So it took
But
us an
yeah,
extra
the game
2 hours
gets
to cut out
frustrating.
another.
And there are aspects of it, but like, as Cork knows, I like to do herbalism. As much as that sounds boring and everyone hates it, I love collecting herbs.
I hate doing all the work. I live for when
Oh,
it's finished.
terrible.
I love the herb collecting. I sit and watch movies all day. Like, I just sit and collect herbs and make flux.
I
We have
love
a lot of flux.
I kind of like I like to because I like the building aspect of it. I like creating things out of there's a lot of things I do which people don't know, like other people don't kind of do. Like my fighting pit. If anyone ever goes up there and sees the pit, it's basically built from a few palisade walls and a whole bunch of because they've just added planks like into the game, like platforms, which are freaking amazing because you can pick them
She
up.
gets so
and put 'em
excited about
anywhere.
it.
Yeah, I got so and the stone steps. I got so excited about them, and just stuff like that. It's just I like being able to decorate sort of and make things look realistic as opposed to just having like things lined up perfectly and stuff like that. That's the designer in me. That is what makes things want to look realistic. So.
There's things happen in games sometimes, and you feel like you want to be there, so that if something happens, you're there for it. Like
Can
the other day,
empathize,
some
yep.
random people showed up at our place wanting to look over our food, see if it was poisoned. They just 3 people on horses waltzed
Yeah,
into our
from-
place. Like,
I forget who they were.
what, were they from Fenrir?
I think they were from Fenrir.
Yeah, they just show up and they're like, "We want to inspect your food, make sure it's up to quality standards."
And we're
It's
like,
like,
no.
what? No, sorry, we don't have that much food right now. I have every food in the game. But it's stuff
Yeah, that
like
was
that
odd.
happens randomly. and you kind of want to be there for that.
I want to know more about that story.
That's
Well,
really
it was
they came
really
and asked to
weird.
inspect our food, and we're like, no.
It was so funny. They're like, this is the best cook in the realm, and he wants to make sure your food is up to quality.
Yeah.
And Lucifer turns around and looks at Rosemary, and I'm like, he's not having any of my food.
Then they said, well, we'll give you
like,
lots of food. I'm like, yeah, we're not eating that. Nope.
Yeah, no way. We're not going to get poisoned by you guys. I don't even remember who it was. Winter? I think one of them. Winter. I've never met him in game before that point.
Doesn't sound familiar.
I think they're from
accent,
Fenrir. He had an accent, yeah.
I know they're from Fenrir. I know that much.
But they just showed up, 3 guys on a horse wanting to look at our food.
Like, to me, that sounds like in real life when you see the wallet inspector. It's like, nope. No, I'm good. I'm good, bro.
Sorry, it's just the 2 of us here. We don't have that much made right now. It was strange. And that kind of stuff happens at Arena a lot, though. It's just people randomly show up at weird times. But I guess that's part of the reason why we came back. We keep coming back. It's because stuff like that happens a lot.
I just wanted. Where did they go? Did they move on? Were they just trying to scam food?
I don't know. They just
know.
showed up and then they're like, oh, we won't keep you
know more.
any longer, and they left through our front gate, and that was it. We didn't see them.
They're just kind of like an awkward happenstance. Like, well, that happened and now it's not happening anymore. Okay, bye.
That sounds.
Sounds like a challenge for Lillian.
Yeah, probably. It was just it was very random.
Yeah. That's a powder keg that's gonna blow sometime soon and take out.
Oh, yeah, well, they're gonna go ask
Lillian?
the wrong people, and those people are just gonna, kill them. So, like, what
happen.
business is it of yours or something? I don't know.
That happens from time to time.
I remember in season 1 when Poe died, he didn't even have to say anything. He just died.
He just showed up.
I kind of really, because my character, I've got an old character that's pretty much doing all the building at my house. And he's like a slave to Logan. I kind of want some people to actually RP as slaves, and that can
You
actually
have an herbalist. Come on.
buy and purchase slaves. But then it's a lot to ask of someone to actually act like a slave. So I see why it wouldn't happen.
Q&A time.
you got some RP there, but it's a lot to ask someone to be like, do this, do that, and then expect them to do it, because it's not their own story in that way. It's exactly like being a slave. You don't get to control what you do. And I understand why no one would want to do that, because I wouldn't want to do it. But it would just be cool if...
One thing I wanted to say, because we touched on it before, people getting upset because they had plans for their characters and all that. And I was thinking, you shouldn't really... You can come up with a plot for your character, but if you make, long-term plans, you're probably going to be disappointed. Come up with a backstory and a plot, but don't write your ending. Let your ending write itself. Otherwise, you're 100% of the time you're going to be disappointed, unless you're only playing with your friends.
I agree. I
don't know what's going to happen. Why is it fun?
There's nothing wrong with
You don't know what's
going to
happen in life.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
But my philosophy is gun for that ending, but accept the twists and turns that are thrown at you and go with it. I fully anticipated my most recent character being killed in that battle or going away afterwards, but now I'm like, fuck it. I've learned some shit. Let's just hang around. Let's now go bang off other people's stories with this newly changed character. So I think you're exactly right, Paladin. Keep your end goal in mind, but make that a moving target. It's not always going to be true. It says Midge threw it out. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the battle cries? I assume all in-game speech, costume actions, and the general loudness in RP. And that's kind of a dynamic question, because I've played back VODs where I can hear myself, and I know I'm super quiet in them, and some people are just deafeningly loud. So I know we gotta kind of ignore the fact that there's crappy mic volumes occasionally.
And like, it's a game mechanic that's hard to work around as a designer, but the fact that you can hear someone in the top floor of a 3-story house when you're out the street, it's kind of like, really?
Yeah, we talked about that last week here, yeah.
It's a hard thing, especially VoIP's a bitchy enough thing to put in a game as it is, so to do that sort of thing.
My only issue is I know for a fact I can get loud in game. Talking about Nixie dying at the end of season 1, the hard part is knowing how loud you're coming across.
And everyone's mics are different, everyone's settings are different, and like my mic has a mind of its own. I'll be quiet for the game, but then I'll be in my stream, but then I'll be super loud for TS. And
yeah, I guess the most you can really do though is if you do hear somebody who's like super loud or super soft, just add a character, maybe sometime let them know, because then they can do something to maybe fix it. Because I hate finding out, like earlier when I was having static. I don't know if I'm still having static.
Nope, it's all fixed.
Hate finding out I have static and then like, oh, but I didn't know that because I can't hear that.
It's like when you guys could hear everything in my house, and I didn't know that, and then you decided to tell me like 2 days later. Like, you've been listening to everything.
Well, it's like, how do we say, tell your daughter to shut up? How do we say that?
Exactly like that.
Really say that.
Occasionally you just hear the little kid in the background just yelling and having a good time, and we're just like, yep, that just happens.
Yeah, I know people have heard my dog through my RP, and they just kind of ignore it. The one guy was like, did anyone hear that dog? What was that? And like everyone else was ignoring it, and the guy was just going on about it. And now he's the crazy guy who hears dog barking. And most people are cool with that.
That happens a lot to Aveen, actually. Her dog is a little yappy dog who occasionally just yells in the background and overpowers what she's saying. You just hear dog barking. You're just like, yep, that just happens.
When it comes to being loud, though, I love being loud if it's warranted. Like, one of the Seven Hells guys came over to our place. It was one of Vicon's new characters. I forget his name. Was it Eddie? Eddie? Yeah, he's just sitting there, like, half talking to his own brain, half talking to me, and saying stuff like, I really don't appreciate being interrupted, and then trying to scare the crap out of my in-character son. And I went back, put on all my royal plate. I came out. I started yelling at him, "Get out now!" As loud as I could. VoIP stopped anyone from hearing me, and that disappointed me.
That's always the worst. How many wars have been fought on the server because of lack of VoIP?
Oh my god.
No.
Everything would be different if everyone could hear each other all the time.
I can tell you
Isn't
right
that
now
the
that thing
motto
that
of
happened
season
between Morris and Zacchaeus, where his miner hit Morris with a shovel, which caused that whole thing, that was because of VoIP. I was saying things to him. I was standing in front of him. I was saying things to him, and I couldn't hear him. He couldn't hear me, and he hit me with a shovel. But, you play it out.
Yep.
Damn those gods.
Boondy's got a great question, but I'm going to make a minor addition to it, or a change. What is your favorite moment on Dynasty, either as a player or as a viewer? I'm going to change that and say, what is your favorite moment as a player, and what is your favorite moment as a viewer? And go.
Probably my favorite moment as a player. My favorite RP moment was when I already mentioned was when Gannica said goodbye to Lucifer. That was probably my favorite RP moment, sort of.
Yeah, I was bathing in tears after that.
Yeah, it was a very emotional scene. Favorite moment as a viewer? I don't know, really. Like, I only really ever watched Jam and Crom sometimes, and probably, I don't know, I'll just go with when Crom and Decoy had their date on their anniversary, and they banged. I don't know.
Good job, Cork.
I don't know. No, but actually, no. When Jam and the Shield Maidens had something, who was it? When he had something going on with one of the Shield Maidens, and they ended up turning around and killing two of them.
Yeah, that was intense. Just murdered everyone. Mr. C barely escaped with his life because he was offline. Weren't you offline at the time? Yeah. Roland made it out, though.
It's what happens when...
Yeah, people have jobs and junk.
Stuff happen. Yeah. I need sleep.
Realize too much effort.
So what about you, Paladin?
Favorite moment, like as a player, it's probably when. See, it's hard to say. Like, part of me wants to say it's when I said my goodbyes to Gannicus, and when I tried to talk him out of being an idiot, and.
Oh, hang on, when we stole the horses, that was a brilliant moment.
It was.
That was fucking perfect.
It was.
That's actually no. I'm changing it to that.
Part of me also wants to say it's when I was Morris and Wrath took me on my way to get executed by Legend. He took me to the Crucible to make my peace with God. And Rhea was just the nicest person in the world to him. Rhea took a shining to Morris for some reason.
Shoes.
Yeah, she gave him shoes, rags. No man should ever have to be naked. She cried. That was pretty intense.
She was going to make you good clothes, but we didn't have the leather at the time. It was still all being tanned. She was going to make you a nice set of good clothes to go to your death with.
Brilliant. As a viewer, though, like, I'm going to be honest, up until like a few weeks ago, I didn't really watch streams. I got into this game because of Nixie. And I didn't really watch streams. But I guess my favorite moment is probably... Does it matter whose stream I was watching?
Nope.
No?
No, favorite moment scene.
Oh man, there's a lot like since then, but I'm gonna be honest. It's probably everything that led up to before Jam just got fed up and said, you know what, just kill me. The whole thing that led up to it, the war. Up until that point, it was pretty cool. When Jorith went in there and just started beating the living crap out of them, like I was like, yeah, man, do it, go.
That was good. That was
I thought
intense.
he was gonna do it, and I was really disappointed when it didn't happen because it would have been such an epic moment, right? He was very close.
That would have been a much better ending than what happened.
Yeah, that would have been a good ending. He got very close, very close. But
One
that was
more
probably
hit.
my favorite moment as a viewer, because like the adrenaline rush when I saw Jorth in there, just like swinging his sword, almost killing him. Holy crap, that was so cool.
Put Jam down to 0 hard points. And you're like, oh
Yeah.
my god, he's gonna do it!
That would have been such a better ending.
Like the rest of us outside were like clamming around, we're like looking in the back window and shit, like trying to see what was going on. I didn't get to see, but people were back there. He's doing it! He's doing it! And everyone goes, oh. And then
That was pretty much
from
the overall
inside.
reaction from everyone in TeamSpeak too at the time, because we were all watching. Because I was there, but I couldn't read the
Everyone was
reactions of all the
cheering.
people.
Yeah, he did a great job. Hey, but now there's a monument for him in a couple places, so that's good. Poor dead Jorith. How about you, Nixie?
Does that have to be this season?
No.
Okay, so honestly, my favorite RP moment that's happened wasn't on stream, and nobody knows about because it's never been talked about.
Ooh, getting the exclusive.
At the end of season 1, I was playing as Selena.
No, I know what this is.
Yeah, you do. And after that tournament that was happening at Vicon's place, I went back with Cavalier, which was Paladin Goo's character at the time, and he started to kind of hint that there was more feelings from him towards Selena than had originally been ever RP'd out. And he basically confessed his love to her. And Selena's this
she shut him
cackling
down.
witch who just basically shuts him down, just totally. And he is right up in her face saying, I'm trying to tell you I love you. And she's like, back up. It actually went from Vicon's place all the way back to our place. And it's when Selena reveals she wasn't actually Selena, but she was a woman by the name of Chase Moore, who actually is in this season, but that's a coincidence because I like the name. And she doesn't sound like that. And she was putting it on so people would leave her the fuck alone. And she wasn't a witch at all. she just wanted people to think she was so that they leave her alone. And it was probably the best just because Paladin here was new to RP and everything, but his RP was just spot on. Like, holy crap. Right up in her face. I'm telling you I love you. After that, Cavalier went and killed himself, basically. He got one of Aveen's characters to off him to sacrifice for stopping Ragnarok. But it never. It didn't happen.
What else was I gonna do with him?
Yeah, it didn't happen on stream. Nobody even knew about it. So it's probably one of my favorite RP moments, maybe besides Nixie's death. But it was just something that happened randomly. That was so cool, and I loved it. But
it's like one of the only times I ever yelled into
it was
the RP mic.
amazing. It's like hard to describe just how I was feeling, because I was like, I'm so sorry, Cavalier, but I have to turn you down. It's like, Selena can't go with you. We can't have a happy ending. And Selena was never heard from again after Cavalier was killed. It was so sad. But
that's intense. You have too many intense moments.
My favorite watched moment, though? I'm not sure. Most of the time I'm just watching random streams when nothing's happening. So it may be when Valdemar was going to his death, just before Nixie died, just because it was sad. I was sitting there watching. I was like, oh, my heart.
That was my favorite moment to watch as well. Was that moment?
Yeah. It was. I'm sitting there. He looks up. He's like, "Where's Nixie?" I was like, "No, he's gonna die." It was so sad, and he did a really good job at that. And I was watching that while I was trying to get back in game. So that was probably one of my favorite watch moments.
Okay. Yeah, that was a really good moment. What about you, C?
I probably one of my best in-game RP moments was actually meeting Windrush, because I could not stop laughing. I mean, obviously Jay being Jay, and Windrush being Windrush. I think it was his first day on the server, and he came and ambushed. I think it was me and Roland outside the Shield Maidlands. We just trying not to laugh whilst RPing can be very difficult sometimes.
Yep.
Especially when you've got
we know that.
That's
Windrush involved.
Jay freaking his head.
Oh, Jay, yeah. But yeah, there's loads of different times that has been really fun for various reasons. Great RP moments, but that's got to be up there, definitely.
And to watch?
Wow, where to start? I think it's probably going to have to be a toss-up between two, just because I can't pick. One of them is when Windrush bumped into the Shield Maidens, and they thought he was batting for the other side. Yeah, that.
That whole sequence was fantastic.
That was amazing. That really was. And likewise, the other one was when Nikki was streaming and went to Legend and got introduced to the shack they have out back, and nobody wanting to tell her about how the birds and the bees work.
Oh dear. I don't know what you're talking about, but oh dear.
Melly has a great character.
Yeah. That was just hilarious. Just the fact that she's trying to get everybody in Legend to explain what the bed was for, and why a man and a woman would like to be in it naked together. and nobody was biting. It was just hilarious.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's scandalous.
For the year, yeah, like 1026 or whatever. Yeah, pretty scandalous. Melly comes in with the UGG.
Yeah. What about you, Buckle?
Favorite one to watch was of course, was Valdemar's death, trying to poison Asher. Yeah, drawing a sword. It was really good, and Valdemar was that right mix of drama and comedy. And to have this character who made you laugh so much suddenly turn around and really like give into the high drama of the moment. You know, there's a war raging outside the gates, but my mission, Valdemar's mission, being more important. I just love that. And then I was trying to hold out hope. Like, we never actually saw Valdemar die on screen, so he could still be alive, but Pax dashed those dreams and he's dead. To play, I have a toss-up between two. I mentioned this one before. Up on the Keep with Nikki's character and Inhibited's character, the Pope, and get to see a different side of Rhea and play a different side of my character, who to that point was only ever seen as like seeking revenge and murderous. And then to have her try to change my character's mind and have the Pope be there to mediate it and finding out secrets that the Pope keeps, because he's a very sneaky character. That was great, and these are people that I hang out with TS all the time, like all day long when TS with them, and then for all of us to go mute in TS and then play out this whole thing was really, really cool. And like that's where I had to end my night there because it was just heavy. And then for a goofy kind of fun thing, Windrush escaped from Crucible, and that was the escape was Rhea, Nikki's character Rhea, had put the horse outside, but I get to go down full. Do you see my dog over there? Just going wild with that pillow. Give me that. Apparently I'm ignoring him. I got to go down as like full armor, weapons out. Windrush is in the dungeon. You know, newsflash, we have a dungeon in Crucible. He had been told he had until morning. His execution would be in the morning. So I go down in the middle of the night. All the people are still leaving. His accusers and his captors and stuff were telling you have to leave. You can have him in the morning for the thing, but tonight he has with God. And I go down, and I'm like, on your feet, it's time. And then he just sits there. So I pull up his stream real quick, and he's gone for a piss break. I'm going to go sit around awkwardly in the corner for a few minutes till he comes back, and then I get to like get up quickly, quietly, it's time. And he tries to say all these things. He was like, but I had until morning. Excuse me. And we sneak him out, and all the people are still gathered over here, but we go all behind the warehouses, stopping at every building, and every time he tries to talk, like, no, shut up, and like get to the wall and like get over the wall, go, there's a horse waiting for you. And it got to be that exciting escape part for him, and he's like, why are you doing this? I'm like, because I don't agree with what's happening here. And so he goes up and over the wall and stuff, and he gets on the horse and he takes off. And I know, like, I do the badass character never look back thing, but I can hear him like jump over the wall, fall, get on the horse and take off, and I was just like, yes, he's doing it, it's awesome.
Nice.
And he just played it up so well. And then like apparently he immediately runs into one of his accusers, and the guy's like, I don't even care, just give me a drink and you just keep going. Yay. And later in the rest of the night, he actually explained, like, Grim was like, I heard you were a prisoner and how'd you escape? And he's like, some dude broke me out, I don't know. And Grim beat the crap out of him and get the answer out of him. It was the first time in his life Windrush was telling the truth, and he still got the crap kicked out of him for it.
Good job.
They were convinced he was lying. He's like, I don't know, he never said his name, he just let me out and gave me a horse. And they're just punching him and stuff. Oh, it was beautiful.
Awesome. I really want to see that video, Nikki. I might better have recorded it.
I didn't know there was a part 2 of the Birds and the Bees. I'm going to have to find out about that one.
That needs to happen now.
Almo's got a dirt video? That's amazing. So Cork threw a question at us, or we had, what do we want to see add to the game? And maybe we'll end with this question, since I think we don't have any more coming in. That's a pretty intense one.
Yeah, basically the main things I want to is boats. Because I'm building a dock. I'm building a dock at my place at the moment, a proper dock, not a land dock. And I'd love to if they added fishing boats and transport boats, where you could like throw a whole bunch of stuff in and transport to. And obviously horse-drawn carriages, which I think is already being brought in, like carts. And after that, what was the other one I wanted? Oh yeah, execution things. So a guillotine or a hangman noose, like they have in Rain Kings. That's the main three things I want. And better
I agree
decorations.
with all of those.
For your home.
That's
Like gardens and stuff like that.
Get the gardens working. I just want them to fix the game
Or,
so that I can use it.
Plant flowers and shit.
Yeah, the current herbalist gardens look nice. They're nice decorations.
They're so pretty.
It'd be nice if they were actually like wholly effective, but
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to get mine to work once.
And more civilian clothes.
That'd be nice too.
Yeah, so you don't have to walk around in armor all the time.
And people didn't walk around in armor all day, every day.
That's one of my personal pet peeves with the servers. That everyone is in armor all of the time, and obviously it's
I
smart
can't
to be
be
able
in
to
armor all the
die.
time.
Yeah, if I'm in town, I take my armor off and I put it away, and that got my ass killed, day 3 on the server or whatever. But it's just everyone all the time is in armor, and I'd like to see more people.
Half
out
the
there.
time I don't wear clothes, so.
I guess I'm going to arena.
You can carry more when you're not wearing armor.
Somebody going to
But yeah, people have attack someone who's got no armor.
I'm losing the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I think it's happening to all of us.
issues,
Oh,
yeah.
thank God. I thought it was just me. Whew.
Yeah, so am I.
I think we've lost Cork.
I can still hear him.
Can you?
Yeah, I can hear. Oh, nope, it looks like I
still
just lost him.
Am I still there?
Oh, there he
There
is.
you are.
Hello. I think you
Hey,
camera's
moving
frozen.
I don't know.
It's
It's probably me.
Now we're all getting it.
Blame Australia and their shitty fucking internet.
Your Coco net. That might be wrapping us up early then, I think. If the call doesn't stabilize here in a sec.
Yeah. Just give it a sec. See what
Good
happens.
job.
Well, it doesn't matter for you guys because you're not with the camera up. Yeah.
It looks like it's getting better.
Yeah, 1 out of 7 ain't bad. Alright, well,
Looks like it's getting better.
alright then. What about Nixie and Pal? When you guys want added to the game? Well, Nixie, I think you want the game fixed.
That's all I want. Just fix it, please.
They're getting fast patches out, so that's
Oh,
nice
man.
at least. But
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like every patch they make seems to be breaking like 3 other things, though. The
software
beams on
development
the
stuff.
kitchens and the canopies being black holes just made my day.
Well, that's because they do have a new architecture coming in for those, and the placeholder broke, I guess. But yeah,
Alright.
I agree. They're gonna look
There's
nicer,
like-
I guess.
As far as things to add, boats is definitely one. I want horses to be able to pull trading carts.
Yep.
I really do. I want to be able to put logs in carts, stack them in the carts, and move the carts with the logs in them. Oh man, I want to be able to fill tunnels with dirt.
Oh, yes.
Why?
That would
Why do I
be-
have to wait a week for them to collapse? I don't know.
Or can we take some of that dirt that we've pulled out of those tunnels and put it back in so you don't have piles everywhere?
Yes. So I don't have to stop terraforming because it's blocked for 3
Genetics
days.
might still be alive.
Is he trapped down there like a Chilean miner? Oh, I'm sorry. Too soon.
That was inappropriate.
I'm aware. Yeah, it's interesting to see we all have, like, our top 3s are all pretty much the same.
Actually, I got one really good one. I want to be able to paint armor.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yes, I
sick
was
of
just
looking
talking
like a
about that.
zebra. I want jet black royal armor.
Yes.
I'd love to be able to paint it. But here's what I think is going to happen. Same thing that happens when you're allowed to paint people in Arc. So you're going to have, like, 90 people running around in black armor, 1 or 2 douchebags in
Dicks.
completely pink armor, and then, yeah, the rest is all going to be dicks. just dicks everywhere. If you've ever been in Ark Survival of the Fittest lobby waiting for the game to start,
on a server like
it's
this,
just-
you can RP that out, or you can.
It's not even just Ark though. Like it's
Love that.
every game. You give people the
Yeah.
opportunity to draw things, and it's just penis everywhere. It's crazy.
Even if
At the very least, I could add some variation to the color of the armor.
Yes, that would be really nice.
Instead of allowing you to just paint it whatever you wanted, like gives a couple different colors.
Sure.
yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I know at some point they want to add in heraldry and tabards.
Oh, that would be so great.
Oh, that'd be
But-
cool.
Tabards
still
just in
like-
general, so you're not smashing your friends in fights.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ken Drufus, I didn't mean to knock you out. Sorry, you looked exactly like Crom. It's not my fault.
Oh, now my camera's going a bit funny.
Yeah, you're looking. It's all right though. All right, well,
Yeah.
all right. Let's blast through Midge's last question here, and then since the
Yeah.
call is pooping out, is random murder acceptable in RP if the character is psychotic, or do you guys not allow that kind of character exist? Well, we know in the rules, KOS is verboten, not allowed to do that. But in general, say you knew of an established character and he's coming at you guys. I mean, obviously, I don't think any of us would let him kill us, and I don't think either any of you three would play a murder on site psycho, right? Maybe Cork.
No
I think
way.
that's just the way he is IRL.
Just got
Yeah,
Australia.
he's a psycho.
Yeah, there's Australian, that right? I've seen Mad Max.
Wolf Creek.
But in general, a psychotic character prone to violence, sure. Grim Grey? Sorry. Sure, they're on there. You would just have to give people the ability to RP before you just out and out murdered them, I think. And I think,
But like, what if you have this psychotic character that wants to go around killing people because he's a psycho, but the people he's going after aren't prepared to fight, don't know how to fight, have no clothes, have no weapons? Is that like something he'd just have to, like, you know what, take a hike kind of thing, go find someone else?
yeah,
It's something like I'd like that to be in the game, but it's not fair on people's characters. Like
Yeah, 'cause
it
I
makes
can't
sense
PvP.
because that's what exists in real life. Like people were killed on roads all the time for no reason, but from an RP point of view, it won't work because it's not fair on people with new characters or characters who aren't fighters.
as long as you give the opportunity to choose to fight back or run away. And honestly, I think we should have a lot more running away when encountering larger forces.
I would run away.
Yeah. I mean, like, my first character, I should have run away. And I didn't, and I died for it, and that makes perfect sense. I should run away. And because, there's 60 of us in a whole world or whatever, everyone's a hero, so no one really runs away, unless they're really RPing it. Clam, you'll play a character that runs away. Nixie, you'll play a character that runs away. There's not a lot of running away. I would say that if I were going to play a psycho character like that and I wanted to get the reputation out that I was a psycho murder crazy monster, I would get together with some friends ahead of time and script it a little bit and have them create some characters that I could just out and out kill without getting in trouble with, and then set the tableau, so to speak, of here's this crazy murder character kind of thing, and he'll kill you at the drop of a hat. That way people know what to expect coming into a fight with that character. But that's just one way to do it. People come up with all kinds of ways to deal with a character like that. And here's Booney chiming in, since he can speak about it. Doesn't matter if your prey is freshly spawned or if they're geared to the hilt. Give them a chance to RP, running, or fighting. I'm going to tack onto that, talking their way out of it. There's all kinds of things you have to do that aren't those two things. You can try to talk them out of it, scare them away, that kind of thing. So, yeah, there you go, Midge. Psychos are completely allowed.
They also have to add the ability to tie people up or chain people.
Oh, yes,
That
100%.
would be
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah,
What
actually,
would determine me either running away or fighting would be if I'm prepared. Like, if I'm wearing my armor, I'm going to fight you, and I'm probably going to win. Because I have steel royal armor. It will break your sword. It's wonderful.
and I would run away as fast as my legs could carry me.
And
I am a terrifying
glitch from spot to spot, and then
hit 5, run!
Hoping that you don't have 200 pounds of herbs on you.
Well, I mean, my bag is 100 pounds right now, so... Alphabetically organized, by the way.
she's a freak. I've seen the bag.
She enjoys organizing.
Well, sure, organization's fun. Do you use
No, like it's therapeutic for her. Yeah.
Do you use the mod that changes the herbs colors? Really? You just remember?
It's all legit. I know exactly what the picture of it is and the name that I need.
You're
So
allowed
I
to
pull
mod
out
the
the
game.
ones that I need into a smaller bag for Flux, and then I have higher quality ones, and then I have it all alphabetized in my normal bag. So it's pretty.
Yes, you're allowed.
Totally
to
off
mod.
Don't
topic,
make fun
but
of me.
Buckle, could you link us after to that mod that you're talking about?
Yes, absolutely.
That'd be wonderful.
I'll
he
look
he
it up.
wants it.
What it allows you to do, you figure out which herbs make your flux or whatever you want to do, flux or flavor or something like that, and you figure out what they are, and then you take new textures. So it's that herb's icon, but in this case, let's say you want a red, so it makes it with a red background, and that way when you look at it in game, those herbs will stand out to you, and all you do is replace it in the texture file. But yeah, I will find the link and send it to you guys. I know a lot of.
Oh look, there.
Consistency.
Oh, ain't you a peach?
But no, I just remember the pictures. That's all I do. I'm like, oh, there's one of the ones I need, and that's another one for my other character I need.
The most
Yikes.
amazing
You know, this is
mod
what
I've ever seen
this
in
is
my
one
life.
that somebody needs at Crescent Reach, and I know this one me needs. I just know the pictures.
Thank you, Nikki.
That's a lot of dedication.
I watch movies while I play though, so it's not really.
I think we can do that in your terraforming. Go through a whole season of a show because you're.
You watched Gotham in one night, Nixie.
That's true. She watched Gotham and season 1 of
Just
Gotham.
give me
in
a-
one
It
night.
was
by
not
block,
in
yeah.
one night. It was a couple days.
You had 7 episodes left, and then you finished it.
Well, when you don't have.
And for
anything
anyone
else
who's
to
seen
do.
Gotham, she felt sympathetic toward Barbara at
Amazing.
first.
Fucking amazing.
I couldn't make it through 5 episodes of that show because it was garbage. The one thing I'll say about this mod, if you ever have to fix do the repair on it, it will delete those texture files for me. You have to put them back. So I recommend making a copy of that texture folder and putting it elsewhere. So if you have to rebuild it, you can just drop it back in without having to search through all the different textures. I know that's what some of our guys do because they've had to, the game is crap occasionally, so you have to go back and fix it or reinstall it. I've had to do that as well. So.
Well, when you say the game is crap, I could forgive everything that's wrong with it if it wasn't $40 and not early access.
When I say it's crap, I'm kidding. Mostly kidding. I wouldn't have 600 hours in it if I really thought it was crap.
Well, no, it's not crap. I've got 500 hours in it myself. But what I mean is there are aspects of it that really need to be worked on that the developers are so far off the pulse of, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. But luckily, they've been paying attention to the Dynasty server at least and tweeting things out. At them, they seem to listen and respond. They put together, excuse me.
It's pretty amazing how a
Getting
community can come together and end up influencing the actual game devs themselves.
Yeah, it's nice that they're sort of willing to take notice.
Well, I mean, the Lift community is not exactly huge either, right?
Right, yeah, it's only a couple 100,000, maybe 1,000 people. Excuse me, a couple thousand people. Shut up, Fecal.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, they did put together, because Moon in Season 1 put together a forum post to him saying, please fix the VoIP. So they came back with, top 10 things they want to do, horse-drawn carriages being on that, saying they couldn't fix VoIP because they're using the built-in Steam thing. And it was kind of a result of the Dynasty people swarming them saying, hey, we're playing your game. I know it's only been out for a year. Can you fix these laundry list of things? And So they haven't paid attention, at least to our server, to our players. They put out updates on Twitter and stuff. They grab pictures that people have been tweeting at them from Dynasty. Like very recently, they had one of Zacchaeus and Sophie, which I thought was cool, and stuff like that. So they do pay attention. So
regularly tweets out Jay's videos. And,
yep, Jay's and Pax's. Yep.
Pax's.
Yep. So yeah, I affectionately call it crap, just like I affectionately call Fecal Thunder an asshole. It's that kind of thing.
Crap with the knowledge and hope that it will one day be great.
I was going to murder someone.
What's that?
When the patch came in and it took 20 seconds to saw a billet out, I was going to murder someone. Still 10 seconds, which is borderline too long, but at least it's bearable, yeah.
Yeah, it's back to where it was. But I'm glad they addressed that actually as a game bug rather than making servers.
Making charcoal.
Well, yeah, making charcoals are affecting the most, and luckily it wasn't taking stamina anymore, so that I could set myself to go cut billets or whatever, and I go make myself like a turkey dinner and come back and I've made 7 billets. I'm like, yay!
Oh, it's painful.
Yeah, try sawing out 800 building logs with that.
3 people. It took us how many hours?
Well, it ended up being over 1,000 logs because we lost 100.
Yeah.
Just gotta say that, but I didn't want to rub it in. All right, we're drawn to a close here, so if there's no more questions for our guests, seeing Nixie in here saying you love organizing things, get out of here.
Hey. I like organizing. I've done it all my life.
I think I got some cupboards downstairs. If you
See, that takes it a little too far. I'm more of a Pokemon card organizer. I'd rather have a whole binder and I just take everything out and reorganize it.
I just love that I made friends with the one person who loves herbalism. So.
Yeah, because then I go and make him a ton of flux.
She's a freak. Like you.
Oh, she'll come back in like 20 minutes with 100 flux.
Yeah, like you'll go build something, you come back and she's like, I got 46 flux for you. And I'm like, it's been 5 minutes.
Well, what can I say? I like it. If only they would let herb gardens work, because then I'd have all of the flux the entire way.
I just want the sawmill.
Yeah, sawmill would be fantastic.
Even if it does take 400 ingots to build.
I don't care what it takes to build. I want it.
Yeah.
400 ingots.
I would.
Seriously?
400 common ingots to build a sawmill.
Oh, that's nothing. I could get that done. What? I like doing that too.
We live on a mountain and we live next to a gold mine. This is not a problem.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I suppose there's a massive iron mine next to my place. So.
We have iron, silver, copper in the gold mine, gold. Yeah, we're set.
You're gonna be fine for ingots then.
Yeah, it's just doing it and taking the time to saw out the billets to make all of the charcoal.
Yep.
Yeah.
You make billet, you make charcoal when your metal's getting hot. So you're just always working.
Yep.
That's how I do it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I got into trees. Screw smelting. I want no part of that.
So, hey, that's 32,000 iron ore to make 400 iron ingots.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
32,000?
Take a couple of hours.
32,000.
That's chump change.
Well, considering I dug out 15,000 in like 10 minutes. It's really not that much.
It's just the moving of it that's an issue. Yeah.
Trader carts.
Mm-hmm. They're on the
You can only
way.
get 1,500 in a trader cart.
Yeah. It's a start.
Yeah, so it's holding 100 trips, right? That's all you need.
Only.
It'll be fine. Alright. Well, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Having us.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for
for
having
having us. It was awesome.
Yep. Mrs. C has dropped all their links in chat for you guys, so please go over and watch them when they're live.
Yeah, if you're going to follow any one of those 3 people, it should probably just be me.
What was Tim say? Follow Nixie for some RP. Follow Cork for RP and awesome art.
Yeah.
We're losing the call again. And follow Paladin to guilt his ass into getting on stream, even if it's not fighting. I love the face that Cork's frozen on right now.
I know,
Yeah,
that's great.
it's
I'll get
I
it
already
next
took a
one, wonder.
screenshot.
Excellent.
It's my affection face.
Brilliant. Alright, I'll wrap it up quickly. It's nice to see you all in chat again. And I guess we'll catch you next week. So yeah, have fun playing, and we'll see you all later.